Yes. Yes, everybody. Yes. Here we are. Here we are. Watch the Stanley Cup playoffs with Steve Dangle. I am that person in the title, Steve Dangle. Click like, click subscribe, tell all your friends, and we are here to celebrate the Final Four. And more importantly, watch a couple of the best teams in the National Hockey League tear each other apart. It's going to be pretty fun. Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, Nathan MacKinnon, Mikko Rantanen, the other ones. It really does. We're at that part of the playoffs where you got to cut yourself off when it comes to naming the players, because you'll end up just naming the entire roster. These teams have gone through it. These teams have lived 1,000 lifetimes over the past month. They've been through hell and back, blood, sweat, and tears. And the amazing thing, despite the fact that it's a 32-team league and there's only 4 teams left, both these teams, the Avs and the Oilers, they're only halfway there. They're only halfway to a Stanley Cup. You need 16 wins to hoist that thing. Except for the bubble year, because they counted the not first round games. We talked about this before. I was going through Andre Vasilevsky's stats. He had 18 wins the year the Lightning won in the bubble, and it threw me off. And I don't know. I hyper focused on it and I didn't like it. But it's 16 wins to win the Stanley Cup. The Edmonton Oilers have 8. Colorado Avalanche have 8. Producer Drew is in shambles. Shambles. For those of you who don't know, obviously you know my allegiance. A lot of you are you're gonna click off right now. You're gonna be like, I'm not listening to this stooge. You might have already done that. And in that case, you're not even hearing this. But a cheer for the Toronto Maple Leafs under usual circumstances. Pause for laughter. Yeah, they're out. They're out. Again, it's funny how it happened again. Because of that, if you watch the Battle of Alberta, the streams that we did last round for the Battle of Alberta, you'll know I was impartial. I didn't cheer for the Flames. I didn't cheer for the Oilers. Right down the middle. Producer Drew, who works on these streams, you're not getting none of that from him. That dude is a hardcore Colorado Avalanche fan, and I've already gotten several nervous texts from him. One of those texts was, Steve, if I go to shopsportsnet.store, what should I buy? See, now I'm using Producer Drew to sell stuff. If you go to, look at that. Look at that. We got a graphic and everything. If you go to the Sportsnet store, that is shopsportsnet.store, you can get all sorts of stuff. You can get hat picks, dang it's. You saw me look off screen to grab some of the stuff. I put that somewhere else. It's not here right now. But we have lots of new shirts. Those are the ones that have the big new sign next to them. We have the classics. We don't call it the old stuff. We call it the classics. 32 Thoughts is in there and a bunch of other stuff. Shopsportsnet.store, baby. Get it. Get into it. So, what do we got tonight? Oh, and leave questions and comments in the chat. I'm sure I don't have to tell you to leave comments in the chat, but questions, because I just might answer them. Here are the lines, by the way, from Tony Brar. We got Draisaitl, McDavid, Hyman up on the top line. Kane, Nuge, Yamamoto, Fogle, McLeod, Puljujarvi, Archibald, Ryan, Cassian on the fourth line. Top pair, Nurse, Ceci. Ceci, his numbers are wild in these playoffs. Underrated player, man. He's Jay Woodcroft has used him amazingly, and he's done a great job. Keith Bouchard on the second pair. Kulak, underrated, smooth operator, with Barry, also underrated, I thought, in that series against the Flames, and Mike Smith in net. From Peter Baugh, Avs line rushes. Landeskog, McKinnon, and the choo-choo train, Nikushkin. Lehkonen, Kadri, Rantanen on the second line. Newhook, Comfer, he's already had the JT Comfer game. As far as I'm concerned, everything from here on out is gravy. Burakovsky, Cogliano, Game 6 hero Darren Helm, and O'Connor on the fourth line. Now, this is going to have to be the difference in this series for Colorado. Taves, Makar, Jack Johnson with Josh Manson, Bowen Byram, who's had a nice little coming out party here in the playoffs, with Eric Johnson, Kemper starting. Buddy, it's a big series. I don't need to tell you that. Their rivalry this season was backloaded. It's very interesting. I think COVID was probably a part of that. I don't know if it was scheduled to end that way. And here's the thing about the regular season matchups between these two teams. Who cares? Like, literally, who cares? And I think that applies specifically to the Edmonton Oilers, because I think they've been written off and they've been underrated. But I looked at them down the stretch and the way they were playing and their numbers and everything. And I was like, I think everyone's sleeping on these guys. They've been, they had a very rough stretch. They were a streaky team. Tippett ends up getting the axe. They bring in Woodcroft, who was amazing with Bakersfield. I'd love to know his collective season record between the AHL and the NHL. I'm guessing it's pretty good. They had a bit of a speed wobble shortly after Woodcroft joined. Then after that, they've been just playing nothing but solid hockey. The narrative has been far too much. It's all McDavid and Draisaitl and Kane. But they make it sound like it's McDavid and Draisaitl and their band of merry men. Now, I don't think it's possible to overrate the fact that McDavid and Draisaitl combined for 29 points in 5 games in the Battle of Alberta. Draisaitl, by the way, with like one ankle while he did that. That shouldn't be allowed. How do you have 2 guys averaging about 3 points a game? Listen, they're playing unbelievable hockey. They always do, though. To me, that's not part of this. If any team in the NHL, any team, if their superstars don't show up, if their best players don't show up, they lose. That's how this works. If they do show up, they got a chance at winning. But if your team's top guys don't show up, you're going to struggle to win. You might get a few, but you're going to struggle. McDavid and Draisaitl, being McDavid and Draisaitl, to me, has not been the catalyst for the Edmonton Oilers. It's that Jay Woodcroft has lines 1 through 4, pairs 1 through 3, clicking, and Mike Smith has given them some saves. He's given them some heart attacks and cardiac events as well, because loves to play the puck. Loves to play the puck, sometimes to the Oilers' detriment. But put some respect on the Edmonton Oilers' name. I already saw a prediction today that said Avs in 5. Okay. I guess we're just going to do this again then. I saw some predictions out east for the Tampa-New York series. And people are happy to give the Rangers the benefit of the doubt against the back-to-back reigning Stanley Cup champions. No such love for the Oilers. And I won't have it. Question from None. How nervous is producer Drew? He's beside himself. He's apoplectic. It's a good word. Apoplectic. He told me if I disparage the Avalanche that he's going to cut the stream. Now, I don't know if he meant he's going to do something on the back end or if he's going to actually come to my house and cut the Ethernet cable. I suppose we'll see. Leslie, Makar versus McDavid. Yeah, I mean, generally speaking, I think putting one guy on McDavid, hey, you're on McDavid duty, I don't really think that works. It's It didn't work for Calgary. And Woodcroft does too good of a job in terms of deployment for that to really happen. The Avalanche need to come at the Oilers in waves. And they got to do a better job penetrating the slot than the Flames did. The Flames had the puck way more often, in my view. I don't know what the actual numbers are, but they had the puck way more often and way more often in the Oilers zone, and they did nothing with it. The Oilers did an amazing job keeping the Flames to the outside. Most of the Flames opportunities that did make it on net were They were pretty And they were able to counter the Flames beautifully. But here we go, puck drop in Colorado. Avalanche, Oilers, Western Conference Final, Game 1. And we got a giveaway right off the bat. McDavid to McKinnon, shadowing each other already. I love it. The Avs with the first offensive possession. They turn it over. Draisaitl. Hyman's offside. They regroup. Ceci dumps it into the corner for Hyman. That's his favorite place to go. How did you know? Devon Taves breaks it out. Once again, watch the Stanley Cup playoffs with Steve Dangle. I'm Steve Dangle. Click like, click subscribe. Tell all your friends. All your friends should be watching this right now. Gosh darn it. Puck in deep. Kemper thinks about playing it. Doesn't. Nazem Kadri. He's been a busy fellow in these playoffs. He's been all around it.
You mentioned last round against the Calgary Flames for the Edmonton Oilers. 26 seconds.
Bednar versus Woodcroft. It's a Final Four, man. I've seen a lot of oh man, the Oilers, the Kings weren't very good, and the Flames didn't execute, and I've seen with the Rangers, they've been playing nothing but AHL goalies. I don't know if you can luck your way into the Final Four. Like, are we seriously doing this again? Are we doing this again? We did this last year with the Montreal Canadiens. Oh, if Vegas had Chandler Stevenson, it'd be a different story. And then they got him back and got worse. Like, the Habs got better as that series went, I thought. Let's pretend the Oilers are worse. Let's pretend that they're completely outclassed. We're going to pretend like this isn't a sport played on ice with a puck made of rubber. Come on now. Offensive zone draw for the Avs. Kadri versus Nuge. Ref says no. I didn't like that. I need to drop it perfectly. Most faceoffs take way too long. Kick back to Byram. Keith with it behind the net. Good pressure from the Avs, though. That's Lehkonen. Speaking of last year's Habs who made it to the Stanley Cup final. Hard work behind the net. Oilers aren't afraid of these scenarios. They're not afraid to work. I thought the play stopped there for a minute. Turns out it didn't. Whoop! Watch the too many men. We got a foot race here. Avs are going to win it. Huge pressure from the Avs early. Not unlike the Battle of Alberta, though. The Oilers were amazing in transition, and we're going to get a look at that right here as they shoot. Gloved by Kemper. Not something we really said about Markstrom in the second round. Oh, Nuge got one right in the fotch, right in the chops. Oh.
Good early save by Kemper. Kelly talked about the goaltenders, how important it is here to just settle back into your game, calm down, don't get too over.
Not everyone knows what that means, and I'm not even sure what it means. I just heard it a lot growing up. Half Italian. I think it's a slang term for face. I'm not total. Did I go in? Are we having this moment again? Well, off the bar for now. We'll see if we get the horn of the hockey gods. Oh, Oilers turn it up the ice with pressure. Puljujärvi flubs it at the red line, and he'll just dump it in. He had a big goal in the Battle of Alberta. Put some respect on Jesse's name.
In the absence of Sam Girard, injured in the St. Louis series, and that
we get a whistle here.
Round glass at the bench.
So often just
very much a feeling out so far for these two teams. That was Kulak who had that shot. Bing! Oh. That can't make you feel good as a goalie. As we get a face-off here at center ice. Game 6 hero Darren Helm off the draw.
So the fourth line's come out. Everybody's been into the game now with Archibald, Derek Ryan, and Zach Kassian. And Kassian only played.
Archibald, I'll do it myself. Dumps it into the corner for himself. Battles by himself. Kassian flying in. It's a good fourth line start for the Oilers. Kassian puts it behind the net, though. Not much of a plan, and the Avs will break it out. Helm with speed. Fires it on. Why not? Get a little bit more confidence in that shot there, young man, who is older than me. Bouchard gets it deep. The Oilers like a good dump in. Oh, giveaway behind the net. Pressure. Net almost doesn't survive that exchange. The Avs do, though. And here comes the choo-choo train. Shoots! High and wide.
McKinnon's on it. And so they're going to go toe-to-toe early, aren't they?
I love that. The coaching friendly where you go fourth line against fourth line, but on the heels of it.
There's McKinnon in there. We haven't seen a ton of him yet.
That's going to be a great matchup if this continues.
I mean, we're 4 minutes in. Calm down, Steve. Calm down. Oh, we got a blown tire. There he is. Found him. Here comes Connor. In with Hyman. Oh! Doesn't complete the one-timer. Avs get it out gingerly. Some crafty skating there.
He just made a great defensive play to maybe save a goal.
From Cale Makar. Connor McDavid not impressed. Tells him to Google him.
Stopped up at the line. Has to tag up.
Good stop up there from Makar. As the Avs get it deep. Reminder, if this is your first... Whoa! If this is your first stream with me, I can't hear the broadcast. So if I'm repeating what they say, I'm sorry. Here come the Avs! Oh! High and wide, but they hold the zone. Oh, shoveling it. They don't get it in. Lehkonen.
Back to Manson. In deep, Kulak unable to come up with it. And around it comes for
Yamamoto. Looks like he'll get out, and he does. The Oilers do a good job leaving their zone. And here comes Evander Kane. In alone. Scores! This guy scores so much in these playoffs. My goodness. What is that, 13? And the Edmonton Oilers, about 5 minutes in, open the scoring. That was Zach Hyman with the shovel there on Kemper. It doesn't work. Amazing little flip pass. I think that was Nuge who gave it to him. Kemper gets a piece of it, but it's not enough. And Evander Kane puts the Edmonton Oilers up 1-0 in Game 1 of the Western Conference Final.
Continues on 12 goals in the first 12 games, and here to start the Western Conference, he gets the Oilers on the board first.
So Evander Kane now is
Boy, is this only 5 minutes in, eerily similar to me. The style of gameplay from the Battle of Alberta. Avs, I would say, have had the puck more, had good pop, ozone time. Oilers counter. Thank you very much. We get a goal. But here come the Avs. And they score! Oh boy, we got a series. This is going to be fun. A 2-on-1 is converted, and just like that, tied up in Colorado. JT Compher. with the snipe. I think it was Newhook who gave it to him. Here he is breaking in. Oilers do everything they can, but it's not enough. I think we're in for a wild series. Not bad from the kid. Not bad from Comfer. Have yourself a playoffs there, sir. And it's 1-1. Less than 6 minutes in. Compared to the Battle of Alberta, that's actually a low-scoring affair. His third of the playoffs, but he's heating up. Heating right up. That was Burakovsky getting it to Newhook in the neutral zone.
Well, there's a one battle in the neutral zone that just created the 2-on-1, and both coaches say that can't happen.
Oh my goodness, look at this already. F. Whoa! McKinnon almost gets it. Not quite enough. Rantanen with it in the corner. Oh, good move on McDavid. Good move again, but he turns it over. Hyman flubs it a little bit, but when he puts it into the corner and he's heading there, I was about to say it's never the wrong play, but it turns out it's icing. Rare off-the-foot icing. Ooh. What an open to this game. What an open to this series. Are you not entertained?
Hosted by Angeline Tedoeo. Tune in weeknights at 7 on CBC Music or anytime on CBC
Not bad
Listen.
from JT Comfort. Oh, that was an expert camera cut.
Not necessarily.
He was about to spit right there, and they missed it.
But for Comfort, I mean, he scores those 2 goals. Those were his first in 11 games.
I'm trying to think of the last time I saw an NHL player with a breathe right strip,
After the early Kane goal.
much less an NHL captain. But you do you, Gabriel Landeskog. Landeskog? Gabriel Landeskog. Producer Drew he's just gonna text me swear words right now.
Darnell Nurse will get things organized. Draisaitl flicks it. McDavid.
I have a stuffy nose, okay?
All over him. Couldn't get loose. And Nichushkin turns back.
Nichushkin, yeah, it was
Outside
offside.
the call at the Edmonton line. Well, what a start. The goals come 36 seconds apart.
We already got goals from Kane. We already got goals from Comfort. 1-1 here in Game 1 of the Western Conference Final. Watch the Stanley Cup playoffs with Steve Dangle. I'm Steve Dangle. Click like, click subscribe. Tell all your friends. We will be right back. Watch the Stanley Cup playoffs with Steve Dangle. I'm Steve Dangle. Click like, click subscribe, tell all your friends. Now, if you're wondering why we had such a hot start to this game, it's because I'm streaming it. I didn't stream games 2 and 3 of the Battle of Alberta. That was young Grav, who did an amazing job, by the way. That young fella is 19. He is really, really good. I wish I was that good at anything, frankly, when I was 19. But those games were relatively normal. Oilers fans, you'll probably remember them fondly. The Oilers won both of them.
blatantly clear is just
The games I did,
team goals that they all feel that
the Flames blew a multi-goal lead in all of them.
They've both taken the step to get to this far, and they know that's not good enough.
A three-goal lead in one and a 4-goal lead in another, and here come the Avs. Byram.
Well, if I'm Jay Woodcroft,
Stopped
that's a couple now
by
an odd man rush
Smith.
tied this game up. And this is one where not a lot of speed through the neutral zone, but the D is backed up so
Really
far.
seemed like it was a matter of time before we really started to see Byram come into his own.
Rush takes one man through as CC goes to
Obviously some issues early in his career.
reaching a little too far. That was way too
You never
easy.
know how a
Way too
concussion's going to
easy.
go.
Lane to the front of the net, and
Never
Mike
fun to
Smith
deal
had
with.
make sure he got a hold of that one and didn't
Not
allow
that there is an injury that's fun to deal with.
front.
It's not a guy like, I got a broken finger. That's pretty cool, huh? No. But a concussion is it's a bad one. It's a tricky one. And here he is, 2 rounds away from a childhood dream being realized. But right now he's got the Edmonton Oilers in his way. Fogle! Oh! Behind the net, but the Oilers still have it. Man, they play a tight offensive zone game, eh? Wham! Play to the whistle. Play to the whistle. The Avs trying to say that went into the netting. The play continues. Will this lead to a 9-minute review? Let's wait and see. Please no. Please no. Review should be capped at 3 minutes. For anything. I don't. If you can't decide in 3 minutes, go with the call on the ice. Too bad. Avs cut to the middle. Shot into the logo on Mike Smith's chest.
When you talk about mental capacity and what you have to do to just eliminate any negative thoughts.
Questions from the chat. Keep those coming, by the way. Michael, whose bandwagon should I join? Ooh. Ooh. Don't be swayed by the fans, man. Don't be, because right now you're going to get a bunch of Oilers fans going, you got to join us. You're going to get producer Drew getting all up in your face. Whoa! Almost a chance right off the draw there for the Avs. You're going to get producer Drew trying to slip you a $5 and say cheer for the Avs. Go buy vibes. That's my advice. Here come the Avs. Oh! Oh, Mike Smith covering it up in the nick of time. Avs with a bit of a push here. Putting lots of shots on goal. I think I might have called Landeskog Rantanen in earlier. I got the 90s numbers mixed up.
Quick move by Landeskog, and you're just expecting that one to maybe hit a leg or hit a body, and you could see Smith's reaction. Once he saw the rebound there,
as you do.
Make sure he got a hold of it. Get the change.
Producer Drew makes that mistake all the time. He just says he cheers for the Avs. He actually has no idea who's on the team. He thinks Matt Duchene is on the team. Matt Duchene, by the way, is producer Drew's favorite player. Still. Drew's going to punch me in the face next time he sees me. His, in order, Matt Duchene, Ryan O'Reilly, Claude Lemieux, Jocelyn Thibault. Cody Ceci, much criticized throughout his NHL career. Some of that criticism's come from me. And here he is in the Final Four, having himself a hell of a playoff. Fight in the corner. Ceci hounding McKinnon. McKinnon makes it all the way to the blue line, gets it deep for Landeskog, who falls, still gets a shot on. Nichushkin gets it. Fired on from the point. That bounces all over the place. Avs still have it. And you see what I was sort of saying off the top. Oh, that was a good play from... Whoa! McDavid laying the body. You see what I was saying, like, before the game even started, though. Avs have had the puck a lot. And the Oilers just aren't letting them do anything, really. Kadri shoots. Easily gloved. by Mike Smith. Let's get another look at that collision with McDavid.
Jump first and put their arm up. Here's one that the crowd wanted.
Well, first behind the net. Landeskog just blows the tire, keeps it alive. Woo! Taves lining up McDavid, but McDavid was ready for it. Breathe, Oilers fans, breathe.
McDavid was able to take advantage of here early on. It's pretty close-knit coverage in all three.
Oilers killing the Avs in the face-off dot. Okay, that one's Rantanen. I'm learning. And he wins the draw. No, he doesn't. Here comes Yamamoto.
Yamamoto plays it inside the line and Kadri back. What a great season for
Avs. Oh, they ice it. Lehkonen lets up. We've talked about this on previous streams. I think the way face-offs are calculated? Tabulated? Anyway, the way they count face-offs is dumb. Because
not every battle is always an offense.
I feel like a lot more draws should just be ties. Because what if you tie it up? Neither center does anything, but the winger gets to it first. Why are you, as the center, being rewarded for the work your winger did? Whoa, big collision there. Avs getting away with a little bit of a hold. We haven't had a penalty in this game yet. And the first penalty is always interesting because it sort of dictates the rest of the game. Byram taking the puck for a little bit of a walk. Shifty moves, but again, way away from the net. Byram with it again. Battle in front. Barry doing his best to keep Comfort out of the blue paint. Avs again. Kept to the outside. They fire it on. They aren't able to tip it in. A little bit of rough stuff after. But it's still a tied game. 1-1. Who is that flicking canes here? Whoa! Getting another look at that collision between Taves and McDavid. Is McDavid laboring there a little bit? Not sure. I wouldn't read into that too much. It's the third round, man. Everyone's sore. No one's waking up in the morning and going, like waking up like American Dad. Good morning, USA. No, they're all. When was the last time you got into or out of a car without making a sound? If you don't know what I'm talking about, that means you're young, and congrats. If you do, you get it. Watch a Leafs game with Steve. No! I screwed it up nice and early. Sorry, I've been doing Watch a Leafs game all year. And now I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not happy about that. I'm very upset. I wanted to get through the whole series without doing that. Watch the Stanley Cup playoffs with Steve Dangle. I am, unfortunately, Steve Dangle. Click like if you want. Click subscribe if you want. Tell your friends. You should definitely do that. Use it as an excuse to speak to your friends. Questions from the chat. Mr. Near Miss. Let me cheer for the Flames. Mr. Near Miss, which goalie isn't going to tend the goal first? I mean, odds-on favorite has to be Mike Smith. Like, he's probably the better puck-handling goalie, but he plays the puck so often, and he is the living embodiment of chaos. You got to put money on him first, but he had some bloopers in the Battle of Alberta. Markstrom might have had him beat. Kemper, oh man, in Game 6, did you see the highlight where Josh Manson had to end up making the save? It was in today's edition of Steve's Hat Picks. Big save from Josh Manson because Kemper was rolling all over the place. And just a reminder, if you're a goaltender, tend the goal! If you don't know what that means, you haven't been watching Steve's Dangits, and we're in a fight. You and I are personally in a fight. Avs break it out, and I'm not sure what that was. Comfer skating backwards and leaves a drop pass for no one. Oh my God, what a hit. Oh my goodness, as the Oilers battle to get to the front of the net. Jesse Puljujarvi, nice little shimmy there. Fogle not giving up after getting rocked. The Avs finally calm it down a little bit. Almost 12 minutes in. They break it out. McKinnon. Haven't seen a ton from him outside of that first shift. Landeskog. Oh, a happy accident there. The Oilers keep it. Leon Draisaitl, one of the top scorers in these Stanley Cup playoffs, will actually turn it over, and the Avs get it deep. It's a real choppy game. Not a lot of free flowing. This is a big time deep in the Stanley Cup playoffs game. Landeskog in front, shoots! Oh, it goes wide. The thing about see-through nets. They all seem like goals, don't they? Oilers get it deep. Kemper. Thought he might have done the thing. Avs with numbers. Kadri in front. Oh, and a rebound. Mike Smith stops it. Real deep in the net. Let's get another look at the shift that was. Josh Manson, whoom! On Warren Fogle, just dumping him. Landeskog, great work, and oh, that does not miss by much. Kadri getting in there, Rantanen getting in there, and Mike Smith holding the fort.
Making sure he squeezed hard, wasn't exactly sure where it was, but he knew he had a piece of it.
Face-off win, and it comes back to Eric Johnson for the Avalanche. Played it to the near corner, and Byram will move up.
Byram in the corner. Fighting with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Kadri in there. An unbelievable amount of this game has been played along the board so far. Just right in the muck. Avs lose the zone. They'll have to just settle for getting it deep. And, oh, I was about to say they managed to hold on to possession. They don't, but here they come. Oh, he flubs the backhand. Ooh, Avs keep it. Thought that might have been offside from Manson there, but he holds the zone. Remember, the Flames greatly outshot the Oilers in Game 1, actually in a few of the games of the series, and it didn't end up mattering. And it's not like they had to rely on other worldly goaltending. It's the type of shots they were allowing. Weren't nothing. Avs looking to improve on that early, as you can tell. Putting a lot of pressure on the Oilers when they get it in deep. And they're starting to look for rebounds, and they're starting to present themselves. Ooh, we might get our first penalty of the game. That was a pretty blatant hold from Nuge. Nope, doesn't look like it. I see we have the third round rule book. It is a pamphlet. Avs moving it around so well. Byram's been dancing tonight. And here's an opportunity. Mike Smith. That's maybe his best save of the game. Eric Johnson. You like that look, but he's frustrated. Why not?
They're trying to get through this shift, and then in comes Johnson. Great save by Smith to settle things down.
Not a trickly enough place shot. Big first period so far. Watch the Stanley Cup playoffs. Nailed it. With Steve Dangle. I'm Steve Dangle. Click like, click subscribe. Till all your friends. Producer Drew texted me during this game like I'm not working. Devon Toews is back, and I can't stop holding my breath. That's great, Drew. I'm doing a stream. Questions from the chat. Supersonic, what position would you play as a player? What do you play in beer league? Okay, so in beer league, I play plug. Dude, I'm like still learning how to play. Probably, I mean, right or left wing. Wherever I have the least responsibility, let's be honest. But let's say I had talent. If I had talent, I'd actually like to play D. Because that's what I do in video games. Right-handed D. Give me the big contract. I like being able to dictate the game. I don't have to worry about my teammates playing defense because it's my job. It's my responsibility. Because admit it, if you're playing shell or if you play actual hockey with an idiot, it's kind of hard to attack when you don't trust that your teammates are going to have your back. If they're just going to go Leroy Jenkins and do their own thing, go into business for themselves every single time, it's kind of difficult, isn't it? Fox, how was the Slipknot concert? Yeah, I went to Slipknot last night in Toronto. That was unreal. Look at this camera. Is this a special camera? Ooh. Yeah, I went to Slipknot last night. I got a message on Instagram about a month ago from Jay Weinberg, the drummer. He had seen a video of mine, and he's like, hey, I heard your dad's a drummer in a metal band, which he is, by the way, 65. Whoa, we got a breakaway, Nathan McKinnon, and he scores! He interrupted a story about my dad's metal band, but I can forgive him because he just put the Avalanche up 2-1 at home in the Western Conference Final. Let's watch this again. Toews with it. Oh, what a seeing eye pass. Nurse can't catch up to the speed of Nathan McKinnon. Watch him turn on the Jets. He like turns them on twice. Oh, speed boost. Unbelievable. I don't know what you do to stop that. That look on Nurse's face suggests he might not know either. 2-1 Colorado lead. So anyway, my dad. Yeah, he's a drummer in a metal band, and I told that story in a video recently. And Jay Weinberg, the drummer for Slipknot, saw it. So he invited me to his show. And then I got to see them, and it was ridiculous. That's just such a good read from everyone involved.
Ninth of the playoffs for McKinnon, who has points in 9 of the 11 games that the Avalanche.
Shots 11-3 for the Avalanche. Which suggests dominance. I don't know if they've dominated the Oilers so far. They're getting the lion's share of the chances. But a lot of those 11 shots weren't very dangerous. 2 of them obviously were, though. That's why they have 2 goals. But Oilers, efficient as always, 1 goal on 3 shots.
Smith stopped that. It would have been a 2-on-1, but Nichushkin lost his stick as it got tied up with Bouchard.
Yeah, he was trying to get a call, wasn't he, as he's battling with Bouchard. The turnover right there, and then down goes Bouchard with the stick with him, and that was a fortunate play there as Landeskog looked up and thought maybe he could make a play. Instead, the easy shot, and
am I frozen?
lived to fight another shift.
Hey, I'm back. Good for me. Look at me being back. Did you hear me ask if I was frozen? No, you didn't. That's how that works.
In Stanley Cup playoff history, Only Gretzky, Lemieux, and
Producer
Drury
Drew texting me third round rule book.
points than McKinnon.
Eye roll emoji. Oh, this is. I was going to say a partial 2-on-1.
Oh,
Oh, now it is. Whoa, that's a big stop from Mike Smith. Ankle breaker there. What a move. Barry in trouble. Gets it behind the net to Kulak, who's picked off. The Avs come in. Oh my God. This Colorado Avalanche team seems hungry. And why not? Getting out of the second round was their hump. Now here they are. Looking better and better as this game goes. Now 17 minutes in, almost. They already got the lead and they're looking to add to it. Jeez. That was Barry getting absolutely worked.
The anticipated pressure that you're seeing now, and you got to try to slow that down by supporting each other.
Mike Smith, the only reason this game isn't worse.
Win some of those battles along the boards.
That's not true. That's not, he's made some big saves. A lot of these 14 shots were directly at his chest. But it seems like they're getting better and better. Stop. Rebound. The rebounds weren't there in the first few minutes. They're there now. The Avs are figuring this out. They're ramping up the speed. They're forechecking the hell out of the Oilers right now. Oof, they're finishing every check. They are setting the standard for this series, but here come the Oilers. Fourth line shift. Oh, and they're offside.
Edmonton at the Colorado line. Other siblings, best friends, and navigating the dating.
That's a bit of a killer. Right there. It seemed like they were actually going to counter with something. This is a pretty key face-off outside the Avalanche zone.
Watch video of an opponent, but until you see it, until you see the speed of the player coming at you.
There's Gio Sakic. He knows a thing or two about winning. Man, in 2017, when the Avalanche were bad, but bad, I did not know what that team was doing with that dude at the helm. And I was wrong. Like, aggressively wrong. This team is legit, but they just turned it over. And oh, a flub from Fogle. But they keep possession, and he shoots it. Blocked. The Oilers keep it alive, though. Bouchard puts it on. And Kemper with it in his glove. Kemper, who was almost traded to the Oilers. Don't forget. What a story here. Bouchard's not afraid to use that shot. Was this deflected? Nope, just goes clean in, and Kemper does well to stop that through the screen of Byram. But we get no zone draw here for the Oilers. So the big fellas are out there, and ooh, that's a good keep from Keith. Rebound in front! Whacking at it! Oh, what a stop by Kemper! Oh, I can't believe this game isn't tied. Those saves weren't there in the Battle of Alberta. They weren't there from Markstrom. That's a huge stop in a chaotic flurry from the Edmonton Oilers. Avs hold the zone. Bit of a risky play, but it pays off. Oilers turn it back up the other way, though. Big boys attacking. They were offside, so they'll go for a change. I can't wait to see those saves again. Oilers with 7 shots on the game, and I think 8 of them came during that shift. Holy cow. Puck out of play. Zach Hyman looking upward, looking for answers. Let's get a look. He had the tip. Chaos. Oh, those were going in the Battle of Alberta. Oh, look at that. Oh! Off his skates, off the blocker. He knows. 6 goals in the Battle of Alberta alone. But with 90 seconds to go in the first, the Oilers still trail.
80 seconds remain in the opening period.
Watch Stanley Cup Playoffs with Steve Dangle. I'm Steve Dangle. Click like, click subscribe. Tell all your friends. I am going to take some nose spray at first intermission so I stop sounding like this. I have the sniffles.
Manson will swing that back into the Edmonton zone.
Avs with an errant pass, they ice it. And this will be an O-zone draw for the Oilers. Interesting to see what they do here. Yeah, McDavid back over the boards. That line was just out there, but less than a minute to go in the first. O-zone draw. He almost just scored. Might as well get back out there. And a tired Avs group. Those are some big, heavy breaths from the Avs. Kadri. Scramble off the draw, and we will do that again. To the benefit of the Avs. They get to take some more. Oh my God, these guys are sucking wind right now. Draisaitl now against Kadri. He's way over the face-off line. Yeah, they didn't care though. Oilers with it into the corner. McDavid fighting. Gets it back to the point. Barrie floats it on. Wide. Byram looking to get it out. He uses the glass and it works. Avs get it deep. They avoid some danger there. But it's not over yet. Here comes McDavid again. Gives it to Draisaitl. McDavid going to the middle. Oh, we get a rebound! And Zach Hyman gets a mulligan. And it goes in. Hyman so close to scoring on his last shift. Buries it on this one. And with 22 seconds to go in the first, appropriately, we got a 2-2 game. The Avs, who dictated so much. Oh, Manson not liking that. The Avs dictated so much of that period. They seemed to be getting better and better as it went on. And then in the final 90 seconds, they really went into survival mode. But it's the Oilers who tie it. 7 goals and a 6-game goal streak for Zach Hyman. What do we think of that contract, everybody? Is it good? Is it good? I think it's good. Here come the... Oh, no way! Are you joking? Are you joking? 2 goals in 9 seconds. Cale Makar with a snipe. Good luck to whoever uploads the clips to Sportsnet's Twitter. I don't know. Just leave it. Just leave it all as one. What the heck happened there? The Oilers won the faceoff, for goodness sake. Darnell Nurse, not so great of a pass to Evander Kane. Avs turn it back up the other way. They snipe and score. What a series. The only thing, I wonder if we get an offside review here, because it was real close. They're looking at it on the Oilers bench right now. And they'll get the headsets on. They must feel like they have a good case.
It looked like it. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, this one's coming back. Wow, what a break. What a change and what a crazy game again. As the last time the Oilers scored, the Avalanche came roaring back and tied it up. And
well, the first one 36 seconds later would have been extremely deflating to give up another one after scoring a second goal and getting it back on even terms.
Sorry, folks. Apparently I froze there, but yeah, this is going to come back. That's well offside. Both feet firmly in the white ice. Yeah, that's an easy call. And a good use of a challenge from Jay Woodcroft. Oh, where's our feed? You got all those TVs. You don't have watched the Stanley Cup playoffs for Steve Dangle? Oh! Hyman with such a momentum swinging goal to tie it. Has that momentum killed in 9 seconds by a Cale Makar goal to put the Avs back up 3-2. But Jay Woodcroft with the challenge, and unless there's something I missed, I think this is coming back.
Puck is over there, and that one doesn't even show.
Like, is Nikushkin's stick part of him?
expect this one.
Because assuming it's not, I don't understand how this stays a goal.
Challenge for offside. It's determined that the play was onside. Therefore, we have a good goal.
What? How? Okay. Cool. Did the Oilers hit it back into their own zone? Is that why? Again, I can't hear the feed.
Let's see, he's got puck control on his stick right through, and then are they saying now he doesn't have control of the puck there? And then when he
Both
does touch it,
of
Tebow,
Nichushkin's
that's gotta be
skates
the
are
only explanation I can
in
think
the
of.
offensive zone, so I don't know if
Before he got the blue line, once it went over the blue line, he did not.
for a
touch the
moment
puck.
he didn't have control of the
That's
puck.
why it took so long to have a look. Wow.
That's
What?
a grayer area than a distinct kicking motion in Game 5, isn't it?
And now the worst
And now the Oilers get a penalty?
penalty. You know,
Sorry?
you get a play like that, and it seems cut and dry, and all of a sudden the line's
It's
gonna
as
take
rare
it
as
so
that
long.
kicking motion in
That's
Game
what
5.
it
Yeah,
is.
dude, that is... Sorry, that was producer Steph in my ear.
In
Steph
other
does an
times,
unreal job for us.
where a guy pushes, has control, but
I-
that is
I-
almost like the puck is right
I-
there. What a
I'm
break.
fairly certain
What a
that's the
change of
wrong
events
call,
here to end this.
but they reviewed it for a while. Avs with the power play. Are they going to score again?
So it is
They might.
Colorado.
They're going to try.
It deflects to the corner.
No, clock will expire.
Done
And
one
what a
here.
wild
One
final,
indeed.
not even 30 seconds
Oilers scored
to end the
two,
first
but
period.
Colorado has
Avs up 2-1.
quick responses for
Zach
goal.
Hyman ties
One
it.
goal lead, but Jay Woodcroft would love
9
more,
seconds later,
and there'll be a lot
Cale
of
McCarr
discussion
scores to make it
about
3-2.
that
Jay Woodcroft
allowed
challenges
third
what he
Colorado
felt was
goal.
clearly an offside goal. So did I. I think... I'm not much of a lip reader, but
So,
he either said that's bull or that's
Cale
baloney.
McCarr ends
Baloney
the
is
story
way
of the opening
funnier.
period. Our first intervention is coming up.
Watch the Stanley Cup playoffs with Steve Dangle. I'm Steve Dangle. Click like, click subscribe, tell all your friends. Before we go to our intermission entertainment, which I believe is Grav with his third round predictions. It's Grav. Thank you, producer Steph. Yeah, we got to talk about that because, like, okay, let's say it's onside. So here, producer Drew is texting me, and he's going to explain because he's an Avs fan. McCarr didn't touch the puck after it crossed the blue until, okay, McCarr didn't touch the puck after it crossed the blue until Val was back onside. Shane was back in an Avs jersey. That's such silly semantics. Like, okay, I'm okay with you using those semantics for that to be an onside goal, like a good goal. I don't think the Oilers should be punished with a penalty, right? I understand why you get a penalty for a failed challenge. It's because challenges were out of control for a while. Everything was goalie interference. Everything was offside. It was a nuisance. It killed the game. It was the ultimate example of something that we thought we wanted that ended up sucking. It was awful. So they changed the rules a little bit. All right, if you get the challenge wrong, then we give you a penalty. Then they changed the rule a little bit more. No, offside goes up to the ceiling. And these are all good steps, but I feel like challenges that aren't egregious, like that's a good challenge. That's a fair challenge. I think the Oilers deserved a look at that. They don't necessarily deserve the call to go their way, but I thought that was a case of a goal worth looking at. I think it's ridiculous that they have to kill a penalty right now. What do you think? Let us know in the chat. Watch the Stanley Cup playoffs with Steve Dangle. I'm Steve Dangle, and I'll be right back because for our intermission entertainment, we have young Grav doing a little bit of third round predictions. Let's see what he's got to say.
Hello, So guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be previewing the highly anticipated Colorado Avalanche versus Edmonton Oilers Western Conference Final. Now I know what you may be thinking, Grab, how the heck did this one team make it to the Western Conference Final? And I know, the Avs making it to the third round surprised me too. Let's be real though, unless you were me, you probably expected the Avs to be in this position. On the other hand, the Edmonton Oilers, after beating the LA Kings and shocking the world, beating the Flames in 5, are going on to the Western Conference Finals. And this battle, McKinnon versus McDavid, Makar, Leon Draisaitl, and so much other talent is going to be amazing. But which team wins this battle? Not the Battle of Alberta, but the Battle of the West, and which team comes out on top? Oilers or Avs? Watch for the whole preview as we got all the breakdowns on everything for this series that you need to know about, and make sure you hit that subscribe button to the Sportsnet YouTube channel for the best sports coverage around. And without further ado, let's get into this crazy matchup. Now, I have good news for everybody that loved the high offensive, high octane games that we saw in the Battle of Alberta. I don't see that stopping anytime soon, and the stats check that out as well. When it comes to NHL playoff teams, Edmonton is first in terms of goals scored per game across the entire playoffs, with a 4.33 goals scored per game rate. As for the Avs, they're just right behind Edmonton at 4.30, second among all NHL teams. And again, looking at the goaltending, looking at the defense, and especially the defensive issues and injuries that the Avs have had, I think for both sides, we're going to see a lot of 5-4, 5-3, 6-4 games. It's going to be amazing. And when we look at the forward lineups for both of these teams, it's pretty interesting because the Oilers, I would say, probably have the top 6 advantage. That Kane, McDavid, and Draisaitl line was ridiculous, and we saw a lot of hype going to McDavid in that second round, but Draisaitl was absolutely elite almost every single game while also playing injured, which is miraculous. And you also got that second line of Hyman Nuge and Puljujärvi, and a bunch of spread down the lineup with Warren Foegele playing well, McLeod playing fantastic, and some other players on that bottom 6 playing solidly. But for the Avs, they definitely have the momentum in terms of depth. Even though the top 6 might not be as hot right now, you still got so many weapons like McKinnon, Lehkonen, who's on that first line, Nichushkin, who is a little bit cold in that series versus St. Louis, but can arrive at any time, Nazem Kadri, Mikko Rantanen, who also hasn't had that great of a playoffs. I mean, the Avs are second in terms of goals scored, right behind Edmonton, and you have core guys in that top 6 not playing as well as they should. Mikko Rantanen is an especially big subject. He's a guy that throughout these playoffs has kind of looked lackluster, looked a little bit injured, but if he comes up huge, then that Avs team is completely different. But you look at that bottom 6, you got guys like Comfort coming up, you got Burakovsky on that third line, the fourth line of Cogliano, Helm, and Logan O'Connor can grind you down to a pulp. So in my opinion, I give the pretty serious edge forward-wise to Colorado, but again, that's mostly because of the depth. Connor McDavid is Connor McDavid, and Leon Draisaitl has been fantastic, and as long as those two guys are rolling, Edmonton is just fine offensively. But that's just the thing for the Oilers. When we look at the depth of both these teams, I mean, comparing the second line, you got for the Oilers, Hyman, Nuge, and Puljujärvi, which has been great, and Hyman especially has been fantastic, but I do give the edge to Colorado for that Nichushkin, Kadri, and Rantanen mixture, even though they might not be going completely. If they are going to get hot, then that Avs depth, that Avs middle 6 especially, is a lot better than what Edmonton is going to provide. So I think especially to start things off, Edmonton's depth needs to be huge if they're going to have a chance versus the Avs, especially on that power play too. But here's the thing that, again, I think separates Colorado from Edmonton. With the Oilers, a lot of their top end guys are playing about as good as they possibly can. And yes, that series versus Calgary was a big win for them. But at the same time, I look at the Avs and you still have guys like Rantanen at 11 points, a player that, again, hasn't played all too well, but is still being productive. And if he really takes that next step, I think Colorado's offense is going to be in a much better position, again, in all areas. But looking at the defense too, I think both of these teams are likely going to struggle quite a bit. In terms of NHL playoff teams, the Avs are 4th in terms of goals against per game with a 2.70 rate. Not too bad, and again, they played pretty decently versus St. Louis. Darcy Kemper, which we'll get into a second, was a little bit lackluster. For the Oilers, they were 6th among all NHL playoff teams with a 3.08 rate. Not too bad, and again, there's been some odd defensive woes here or there. overall, though, the Oilers' defense has been much better than I expected, but by far, the Avs are going to be the biggest test with their top-end talent on both forward and defense. Now, let's go on to the defensive pairs, and personally, for this next series, it's which defense is less bad, I think is what's going to be the case here. With how high-powered both of these teams are, the defenses might struggle a little bit. As for the Avs, their top pairing isn't going to struggle whatsoever, with Devon Toews and Cale Makar leading the way. Offensively, they're going to make the Oilers' neutral zone play extremely difficult, and I think for the Avs, again, for the Oilers, they haven't faced anything like that, any pairing like that whatsoever, so it's going to be a big adjustment to make. But the problem is, after that, you got Jack Johnson in the lineup on that second pairing as of recently, but again, that can change. But Jack Johnson, with the injury of Sam Girard, will likely be in the lineup there. They could maybe have Curtis McDermott, but that is going to be a huge issue for the Avs. I'm just thinking about Connor McDavid facing Jack Johnson, and I know Jack Johnson is the best NHL defenseman, but still, it is Connor McDavid, and he can pull anybody out. And you got Josh Manson as well in that top four. You got Bowen Byram, who's been fantastic as of recently, and you got Eric Johnson there, who has been solid. But again, just thinking about Jack Johnson on that defense makes me worry just a little bit. I mean, the Avs defense was fine versus St. Louis. It got the job done, but against the Oilers, just like Edmonton's defense, both defenses are going to see something that they haven't seen before. And I think for the Avs, they're much more likely to make an adjustment. As I said before, for the Oilers, I think their defense has been supreme, and against Calgary, even though they allowed quite a bit of chances, they were still able to minimize the panic, minimize the pressure, and minimize the leads lost. And in terms of the defense, we got Darnell Nurse and Cody Ceci on that top pair, Duncan Keefe and Evan Bouchard, Brett Kulak and Tyson Barrie. And in my opinion, even though the Oilers defense has exceeded expectations and guys like Ceci have been pretty incredible, at the same time, they still have not faced a player like Nathan McKinnon, a defenseman like Cale Makar, and that type of offense that, when going, could be one of the best in the NHL, if not the best. And to me, when I look at players like Duncan Keefe, and even if he has had some good moments and still looks slow, they might get slaughtered here on defense. And I think guys like Nathan McKinnon, if they have that extra edge, are going to have fantastic series. Now, we've gone through the forward groups, we've gone through the defense, we've gone through statistics and everything so far, but now let's move on to the most interesting, and let's be honest, probably the most chaotic part of this upcoming series, in the goaltending. Mike Smith versus Darcy Kuemper, the matchup that we've all been waiting for. And I'm willing to bet Mike Smith was not the happiest man that the Avs ended up winning that Game 6. Just a hunch. But both goaltenders are in a weird spot going into this year's conference finals. For Mike Smith, in 5 games versus Calgary, he posted a .907 save percentage, had that awful, no good first game, but did get better as the series went on and was good enough where the Oilers could get the job done at every single point. As for Darcy Kuemper, it was kind of the opposite story. They did win in 6 games, but Kuemper was really the one, or at least one of the players, holding back the Avalanche just a little bit, and throughout that series especially was allowing a lot of weak goals that definitely shouldn't go in. If you're allowing bad goals to Tyler Bozak, Connor McDavid is going to have a pretty fun time. And for Kuemper, in 6 games versus the Blues, he had an .892 save percentage, simply not good enough. And again, you go to the Oilers offense and you look at that high-powered power play especially, it's going to be a rough time for him. And in terms of actual goals saved above expected, it's a pretty interesting picture. For Mike Smith, overall this playoffs, he's been pretty good. 5th in the entire league with an 8.28 goals saved above expected. As for Darcy Kuemper, he's 22 out of 23 goaltenders in the playoffs this year with a -4.24. So in my opinion, for the Avs, even though they have the advantage in terms of offense, depth, and defense, the goaltending might be the biggest issue. And when you're facing the offense that Edmonton has, you can't afford any mistakes. And Kuemper has been allowing way too many, way too soon. So to me, Kuemper is really the huge wild card. I give the advantage to the Avs in so many different areas, but if Kuemper plays the way he did versus St. Louis, the Avs are going to get exposed, and the Oilers could definitely win this series. As long as you got Connor McDavid, as long as you got Leon Draisaitl, your goaltender needs to be at tip-top form, and I don't have faith that Darcy Kuemper is going to be that guy. Is he going to to be the consistent goaltender that can get it done in this series. That's the biggest test. And for the Avs as well, staying out of the penalty box is going to be huge. That's obviously a factor for both teams, but when you're facing Edmonton, if the Avs do have advantage in shots in terms of momentum, they can't allow the Oilers to do anything like that, get back in the game whatsoever. They did that way too many times against the Blues and allowed way too many leads to be lost. And in my opinion, when you're fighting against guys like Connor McDavid, when you're fighting against the top end guys, the goalie really is the main factor. Kemper, simply put, needs to be better, and I think he will be in this series. I don't think he's going to be fantastic, but I think he'll kind of be like Mike Smith versus Calgary, where he might allow still a couple of bad goals, but still be good enough to get the job done as long as the Avs play great around him. So even though I give the edge to the Oilers in maybe the power play, that special teams, and the goaltending, I think for Edmonton, that forward depth is just lacking compared to the Avs, and I think rolling out all four of those lines with Colorado is just going to be a tough thing to manage, especially for Jay Woodcroft, and I think the defense could get a little bit tired, especially as it goes further into this series. I could see the Oilers starting up pretty well, but at the same time, it does start in Colorado, so that's going to be a pretty big factor. But I'm going to say in this series, looking at everything right now, the offense, defense, goaltending, and everything, even though I don't have the biggest faith in Darcy Kuemper, I still think he's going to be just good enough, just solid enough to get the job done in the series. I will say this, I think it goes 7 games. I think the Oilers are going to push the Avs to their limit. But at the same time, I think Kuemper and the Avs defense are going to have a much better Game 7, and the Avalanche will win in 7 games, moving on to the Stanley Cup Final. It won't be easy, but I do think the Oilers are going to push the Avs, but not be able to get it done in the end. But still, for this Oilers team to get to the conference finals and push one of the best teams in the NHL to 7 games, I think will be pretty successful, and especially compared to what McDavid has had to deal with throughout the rest of his career, it's not bad results, I'd say. But I want to know in the comments down below what you guys agree and disagree with my predictions. Who do you guys see winning this series, Avalanche or Oilers? And in how many games do you see it happening as well? I could still see it going either way, and again, I see it going to Game 7, so in my opinion, it's a pretty close one, and especially the goaltending could maybe favor Edmonton a little bit, which could push them over the top. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Make sure you share this video with your friends. Get it out there, subscribe, hit that like button if you haven't, and if you enjoyed today's video, and I will see you in the next one. Have a great day, y'all. Drink some water, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.
Hey, that wasn't a goal. I'm sorry. You know what? I had the whole break to think about it, and I think it's less of a goal than I do now. Watch the Stanley Cup playoffs with Steve Dangle. I'm Steve Dangle. Click like, click subscribe, tell all your friends, and that is not just a tagline that I say. It is a tagline that I mean. You probably have a friend right now. Oh, how do I watch the game? You probably, oh yeah, I found a link on virus.virus, and now you got your identity stolen, and you're going to have 1,000 ads, and all those ads have an X that's not really the X, it's a trick X, and then you click and, no, I got another ad. No, send them this link. Watch the Stanley Cup playoffs with Steve Dangle. We have an explanation for why that goal that is super not a goal was called a goal. Elliot Friedman, as always, on the case. Rule to goal. Makar does not touch in zone until after forward clears. Ruling is Makar pushes puck before into zone. Nichushkin tags up, then Makar touches. The second tweet is the big problem I have with this. Ruling is Makar pushes puck before he's in the zone. Then Nichushkin gets onside, right? He tags up. Then Makar touches. He passed it to himself. What do you mean he doesn't have possession? He passed it to himself. Now, a lot of people explaining the rule book, and that's what Friedge was doing there, obviously, and he's just doing his job. Stop being mean to him. His next tweet was about, thank you for the lovely DMs. Please stop. Now, listen, NHL refs, NHL officials, people in the war room, there's a lot of people right now going, damn Toronto, like, damn Gary Bettman. No, listen, and you might have a point, but that's the rule. Here's the thing. It's a stupid rule. That's a glitch. That's a video game glitch. Glitches in real life, I think, are called, like, what's the real life equivalent of a glitch? A scam? Shenaniganery? What kind of ridiculous Game Genie glitch is it that you can... I see my buddies offside, so I push the puck into the zone, and once he's onside, then I touch it? But you're going to see this so much now. You're going to... Oh, boy. I really did think... I walked you through the whole history of how these challenges work. How it was a good idea. It turned out to be bad. Here comes Kemper for the start of the second. It's a good idea that turned out to be bad. And then they fixed it. And now with what has happened tonight, it looks like they're hell-bent on ruining it. Like, dude, I understand. I 100% understand why it's a goal. It shouldn't be. If that's a goal, get rid of offsides altogether, bud. The poll, by the way, last I checked, 83% of you thought that was not a goal. But here come the Avs on a power play, the first power play of the game, by the way, because of that challenge. At very least, and I said this as soon as the first period ended, at very least, whoa, here come the Avs, and if they score here, which they do, and it's Nazem Kadri. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, what a turn of events. A goal that the entire hockey world is up in arms about, stands, leads to a power play, and the Avs convert. 1 period and 32 seconds into game one, it is a 4-2 Avalanche lead. Kadri hits the post, gets his own rebound, and scores. He beats Mike Smith twice on the same play. And listen, the Oilers, I think, got jobbed there on how this all transpired. But it is what it is. It's happened. And at some point, you need a save. Mike Smith's made a couple decent ones. And I mean, the Oilers are getting greatly outshot here. But man, it's 4 goals against. You know what I mean? It's a lot of shots to have faced already in this game. He's sitting at 19. You got to stop more than, 75% of the shots? Don't make me do math. 80% of the shots. Now the Oilers, I mean, they're in familiar territory at least. They had a ton of comebacks against the Flames. The Oilers are not uncomfortable in these scenarios, but here come the Avalanche. Rantanen! Gets it in, but not all the way in. Keith helps the Oilers break out of the zone. Geez, what do you think they're going to talk about tomorrow if Edmonton doesn't manage to come back in this game? Man, that's a silly rule. Evander Kane throws it in front, no one home. Like the thought, though. Bouchard puts it on. Stopped by Kemper. Almost sneaks by him. Evander Kane again, no one's home. Yamamoto puts it on. Doesn't get all the way through. Oh, nope, the Avs can't break it out. This is a good shift from the Oilers here. Good second line shift, and they get it in. Kemper with the stop. Kemper with the stop again. This is a harrowing shift, though, for the Avalanche. Kadri breaks it out. Tries to get it around Yamamoto, doesn't work. Byram works him off the puck, though, and the Avs will try to calm this down a little bit. And, ooh, they do manage to get out, fire it into the corner, and Comfer is the first one on it. As they get a change of personnel. Bang from Josh Manson. Stopped by Mike Smith, but that'll result in an O-zone draw for Colorado. Here's a look at some of those saves from Kemper in that flurry. Good pad save, good pad save. Gets it to the corner. No one there. That was a shift the Oilers can build on, though. Because those two passes from Kane, if someone's in position, it's a really good scoring chance, if not a goal. Cody Ceci can't quite clear the zone. Oilers get there, though. Nurse pinching. Fogle. He's been all around in this game. Rebound. Scores. Kemper didn't know where the puck was, and McLeod buries it. And the Oilers lead 3-2, depending on who you ask. Or at very least, according to the scoreboard, they pull within one on Colorado. A great couple answer-back shifts for the Oilers, as Kemper, who was so sharp on the last shift, can't find the rebound, and he knows it before the puck's even in. Oh, you're not going to get a more golden opportunity than that, and McLeod knows it with the facial expression. Makes no mistake, Oilers back within one. Told you, they're comfortable in these situations. They had plenty of comebacks in the Battle of Alberta. We'll see if that trend continues in this series.
First points in 10 games. Warren Fogle, first point of the playoffs, and Darnell Nurse with the assist.
And you know, it's so important for that line to start to feel connected
Man,
with the bench and feel connected.
like Colorado runs away with this game. You know, you can maybe get away with the argument, oh, that review wouldn't have mattered. It's literally the difference in this game right now. I'm obsessed with this camera. It's so, like, it's so high quality. Is that cinematic mode? Bang! Whoa, rebound in front! A lot of rebounds available for both teams in this game. That's just a survival dump. Oh, Avs hold the zone. Avs get a shot. Wide, though. Rebound is available for Eric Johnson. Former first overall pick, don't you know? It's true. Avs hold the zone again. Oilers having trouble getting out here. Byram working it around. Avs even changing personnel. Makar with it. There hasn't been a penalty for an infraction yet. Shoots! Oh, point blank shot and a point blank save. Mike Smith. Oh, we got a blown tire, and this is going to be a breakaway for the Oilers. Here comes Zach Kassian. What a move! And it doesn't work. Kemper with the stop. Kassian finishes his hit after that. I didn't see who had the blown tire in the neutral zone, but Zach Kassian. He had a breakaway in the Battle of Alberta, too. Here come the Avs now. And again, they hold the zone. Lehkonen gets it deep. Took a hit to make a play, too. McKinnon waiting for reinforcements. They arrive. They score! Mikko Rantanen. What a setup from McKinnon. Basically a one-man show there. And Zach Kassian head down on the bench. could have tied the game up. But right now, still less than 5 minutes into the second. This is bloody chaos. The Avalanche go back up by 2. Here's another look at that Cassian opportunity. The fake. Oh boy, is that a good save from Kemper. Making up for the rebound flub. McKinnon takes it all by himself. Ref running a little bit of a pick, to the surprise of no Oilers fans after that offside call. And this is a great shot from Mikko Rantanen. 5-3 Colorado. So this is ridiculous. Review it. Review it for something.
First time the Mikko Rantanen has beaten a goaltender in the
We're all learning the rule book tonight. We're figuring it out.
The 26th shot and his first past the goaltender.
Ooh. Almost on the stick of McDavid there. Man, that's a great shift from McKinnon. Oh, and they turn it over. Oh, Avs drive the net. Mike Smith loses his mask. We need a whistle here.
There's Kadri literally just forcing McDavid.
I didn't see who bumped him. Kadri was driving the net.
In last series, Kadri going after Binnington, trying to get to the loose puck.
He's always driving the net. McDavid, woof, hits him right into the bar.
If you just step off, he's going to walk another step, and then
Oh.
ends up getting the mask.
You know, I know Mike Smith got his helmet knocked off, and that had to have hurt, but that looked real uncomfortable for Kadri. They're basically riding the crossbar with his ribs. Ugh. Man, we're barely over 5 minutes into the second period. 23-14 of the shots for Colorado. 5-3 is the score. And folks, this is not the playoff hockey I grew up with. And I'm here to tell you that's a good thing. Bang! From Devon Taves. Doesn't make it through. Rebound! Goes over Mike Smith.
Bounces off McKinnon and out.
I once saw a game where the New Jersey Devils scored in the first minute and won 1-0. The late 90s were awful. I thought that should have been ice, but Mike Smith plays it. Taves putting pressure on Kane, which is a ridiculous sentence. Avs, keep it. Fire it on. Just a constant barrage. Nikushkin. Oh, a rebound in front. Avs hold on to it, shoots. Man, if another one goes in here in the next couple minutes, you got to wonder if Mike Smith's coming out of this game. It's still tight enough that you want to stay with your starter. New Hook fighting in the corner. He comes out with it. Comfort, New Hook, Comfort. No one in front, though. Makar to Taves. Taves can't get it through Kane, but he keeps it. Wham! From Makar, and he scores! JT Comfort, I think, gets the tip in front, and this is pandemonium in Colorado. 6-3 is your score, and Mikko Koskinen will come into the game. My goodness, 26 some odd minutes into the game. We've got 9 goals on the board. Avs working it around with clinical precision. Makar puts it on, and I think that goes off a Comfort. McDavid was the one working on him in front, perhaps not working on him enough. And Koskinen jumps into the game in relief of Mike Smith. Now, this does not mean the game is over. You might remember Smith getting yanked in Game 1 of the Battle of Alberta. It was 6-2. Oilers come back to tie it. They end up losing the game, but they did tie it. Smith wasn't even the goalie of record in that game. And I mean, not even halfway through regulation, the Avalanche are on pace for, what, 60 some odd shots in this game? Yeah, you do need a save or two from Mike Smith, but this has not been a great defensive performance from the Edmonton Oilers. Remembering that that is how the Battle of Alberta started, and then the Oilers ended up winning it in 5. But this game's not over. In fact, it's not half over. We might get our first infraction penalty of the game. Our non-review penalty of the game. Oh, you bet we won't. Round 3 of the playoffs, baby. You might get a too many men if you're lucky. Whoa! Kemper almost misplaying that in the trapezoid. And it results in a play where the Avs, they haven't cleared their zone yet. And they finally do. Kadri breaking it out down the wing. A little bit of interference there on Lehkonen. Are we going to get a call there? Yep.
Interference call, Darnell Nurse.
Nurse not sure who this is going to, and neither am I. I thought it was Archibald. Well, let's get another look. Oh, it was Nurse. Ah, I got confused there. And oh boy, the Avs, who are up 6-3, will head to the power play when we return to gameplay. Watch the Stanley Cup playoffs with Steve Dangle. I'm Steve Dangle. Click like, click subscribe. Tell all your friends. We will be right back with this ridiculous hockey game. Have you missed any of the game? Well, don't worry. Because once the game is done, you'll be able to watch a 45-minute highlight back. We got 9 goals. We're not even halfway through regulation. We're not even really close to it, to be frank. Watch the Stanley Cup playoffs with Steve Dangle. I'm Steve Dangle. Click like, click subscribe. Tell all your friends. And the Avalanche start their second power play of the game. They converted on the first one, but that was several goals ago. Let's see how this goes. McKinnon goes wide. Kadri to a ghost. And they missed. I thought it was a good pass. The ghost was gripping the stick a little too tight. Makar with that ridiculous power play that the Avs have. McKinnon working it around. Oh, Kadri almost gets a piece of it. He got the power play goal last time around. McKinnon walking that blue line with confidence. Wham! Blocked. And the Oilers try to turn it around. It's not going to be a 2-on-1, but Zach Hyman is not afraid to go 1-on-3. 1-on-4 even. And he almost creates a scoring chance there. Here come the Avs, but they do not have numbers at all. Kadri waits for reinforcements. They arrive. Landeskog goes around to Rantanen. Rantanen. Taves. Goodness, the Avs move this thing around, don't they? Cody Ceci stops it. Can't clear it, though. Kadri looking for that pass. He doesn't get it. Sacrificing the body there. I think that was Darnell Nurse in front. And less than 30 seconds to go in this Avs power play. Certainly looking dangerous. But the Oilers holding this game to 6-3, which in most years sounds like a ridiculous sentence. But we've seen lots of comebacks this year. Lots of comebacks these playoffs, and a bunch of them are from the Oilers. That was a risky as all heck pass from Taves. And I thought the Avs might be getting their first penalty of the game there. but they don't. Oilers kill it off, but the Avalanche continue their attack. Oh, that's Evander Kane with it, high and wide.
Archibald crashing in there against Byram.
Archibald flying in there. He's out there with Kane and McDavid right now. Oilers hold the zone, fire it on from the point. Kemper stops it.
Logan O'Connor dumps it in. After it is Cogliano, so he's okay. Centers in front.
Oh, it's Pavel Francouz in net.
Stop in tight against Logan.
When did that happen?
Well, if
Oh,
you're
just,
looking
oh
for a
dear.
surprise every minute, this game's coming
Well,
down
that's
bit.
certainly a
Remember,
development.
here's the discussion as Kemper comes
Oh,
right
there's,
to the
oh,
bench and
geez.
has
Yeah,
a
they're showing it right now.
conversation. I said jokingly about the Roberto Luongo
Yeah,
thing.
wow.
You never know what your body's feeling
I mean,
like.
Francouz is a
There's
capable
another two
goalie.
players in the
Kemper
game
didn't
that
seem
are
overly
scoring.
concerned.
Connor ends up wide open
Maybe this
every
is just
time, and then
precautionary so that
Boston
he can
first
play
big
in
save
game 2.
to keep it a 4-0
Healthy.
game.
At least that's what you got to hope
The Colorado bench.
as a fan of the Colorado Avalanche. Once again, Producer Steph, thank you for the spot. Doesn't look like he's... And Producer Rob. Thank you, Producer Rob. Oh, Producer Rob. Amazing, as always.
Darnell Nurse over the line.
Producer Nick, you didn't do anything, but I see you.
Deflects high off the end glass. Bouncing
Francouz, one...
Dean behind
He agreed in the chat that it happened. That's good. That's good.
3 Oilers to score 13 playoff goals. In his first
Yeah, Francouz, one of the few right-catching goalies in the league. Always throws me off. But he's a good one. Oh, through a bunch of traffic there.
CC for Draisaitl.
Now, Francouz, this is a tricky position, man. And if the Oilers score here, it's going to be trickier, but he manages to direct it wide. And the Avs faithful supporting their backup goalie. Big opportunity here for the Oilers. Scramble in front. Draisaitl steals it off McDavid, which is impressive. It's hard to steal it off McDavid. And the Avalanche survive and get it deep. We've now seen all 4 goalies in this game.
Tough sequence and a couple of good second and third chances again, trying to create some rebounds in front of the Avs goal.
I'm working to pull up Francouz's numbers here. Avs trying to clear the zone. Not going so well so far. Nuge, dogged effort on Comfer. Almost creates the turnover. Yamamoto in there. He's a pit bull. Hyman, this is not a fun trio to deal with. Whoa! Manson, big body, but Yamamoto comes out with it. Oh, we got a broken stick. Duncan Keith, he's got to go off. And he does. Wisely gets it deep. Hyman goes down. What do the Oilers got to do to draw a penalty in this game, man? Keith with the new lumber or carbon fiber. Avs break it out. Kadri taken down. Oh! Someone got hit in the face there behind the net. It was a member of the Avs, but they've taken 2 penalties to the Oilers' none. And I don't think that advantage is going to hit 3-0. Not in the 3rd round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Oh! Oh, boy. Oh, that was a tough one for Koskinen. But Rantanen not quite able to kick that puck up to himself. Yeah, he tried. He tried. That's a trickier play than you think for Koskinen. Francouz has 2 wins in these Stanley Cup playoffs so far. Goals against average just under 3, a save percentage of .902. That ain't bad. His regular season this year, real good. 15-5-1. 255 goals against average, if that's your thing, and a .916 save percentage. So a better backup than most. I'd say most teams can't rely on their backup goaltender being above a .915. That was a decent attempt from Colorado. Not able to get a deflection, though. Nikushkin. The Avs really like to work it back, and the Oilers haven't been successful enough at picking them off. They've had 1 or 2 opportunities. That'll be something that they work to do for the rest of this game and all the games going forward in this series. Avalanche have done a really good job of making it so difficult to break out of the Oilers' zone. Franco's the righty. God. It always seems weird to me. I'm weird. I'm of the Cujo model, where I shoot right-handed but I catch left. I think that's how Cujo did it, right? Again, Oilers try to ring it around. The Avs get it. Kadri falling! That would have been a heck of a goal, but it doesn't go. Avs hold the zone.
Koskinen's going to hold on, and now we will step aside. Nazem Kadri has scored tonight, and he had another terrific chance here. Mikko Koskinen with the answer.
And we're back. You thought I was gone? No, I'm back. Watch the Stanley Cup playoffs with Steve Dangle. I'm Steve Dangle. Click like, click subscribe, tell your friends. This is ridiculous. There hasn't been a goal for like what? 4 or 5 minutes? Something like that. So the game's slowing down maybe, but we've now seen 9 goals. We've seen all 4 goalies. Mike Smith getting pulled after allowing 6 goals. Darcy Kemper, speaking of Jared Bednar, and kind of pulling himself out of the game. No word on what's going on there or if he'll be back. Mikko Koskinen in net for the Edmonton Oilers as they try to come back. Pavel Francouz in net for the Colorado Avalanche as they try to hold the fort. Now, the Oilers have erased, actually, just in the Battle of Alberta alone, they erased a 4-goal deficit in Game 1. They did ultimately end up losing, but they were down 6-2, tied the thing in the third period, and I believe was a game, I don't remember what game it was, 4? They erased a 3-0 deficit from the Calgary Flames. Producer Drew sending me reminder, it's Nichushkin, not Naku. See, I thought it was Nikushkin, but I was saying Nichushkin, so I was saying it right. Gosh darn it. I should be a hipster about that because people were yelling at me to say Nikushkin. I guarantee I was calling Nichushkin highlights before you even watched him. I was watching Valeri Nichushkin when I was working for the KHL, the Continental Hockey League, and doing their highlights. He played for Tractor Chelyabinsk, whose logo is an angry polar bear. It's the best. And I believe it was a young Valeri Nichushkin, and I think Evgeny Kuznetsov was on that team as well. Here come the Avs. Man, they make it so hard in the Oilers zone. Fire it on. Again, Oilers trying to get it out. And it looks like they do. Oilers having a real hard time leaving their zone with the puck. Is that going to be a penalty? I don't see an arm up. Man, they really are going old school with the penalty rule book tonight. This is definitely a departure from the way the rest of the playoffs have been called.
What's a lot faster than any
Oh, got your stick.
Again, the speed is really evident, isn't it? The turnovers in transition.
Avs working up the wall. Landeskog looking for a friend. Oh, he doesn't find one. Offside. Or actually, no, I don't know. You might still be onside. We're learning lots about the rule book tonight. If you pass it to yourself, it's cool. It's cool.
So up to 24 goals combined in games 1 of the last 2 series for Edmonton.
So, like,
A great taste of Johnsonville pears.
let's say I'm at my blue line, right?
Like scrambling to make it to
If
their
I
practice on time.
shuffleboard the puck up the ice, and the rest of my team just makes a beeline for the offensive zone, and they're all offside, and then I enter the zone and touch the puck, is that cool? And if not, why? I don't know. I'm just being salty. Oilers looking for a way back into this game. Going to be difficult when the Avs have the puck most of the time. Oh, but here's an opportunity, and it's Connor McDavid stopped by Devon Taves. Oh. How are they going to get back into this game? That's how. They're going to pass. Whoop. See you later. They're going to pass to the best player in the world. And they are going to hope he does best player in the world things. Because he does most of the time. Dangerous shift for the Oilers' top line. But here come the Avs with numbers. Cale Makar can't get it through. But they... Oh, boy, where did it go? I've been so accustomed to saying goal that I'm surprised when it's not. Here's McDavid coming in on Taves. Taves using his feet. Ooh. Harrowing moment there for the Avalanche, but they survived that one. There's a lot of hockey game left. Watch Stanley Cup playoffs with Steve Dangle. I'm Steve Dangle. Click like, click subscribe, and tell all your friends, all your buddies who are bugging you, I need a link to watch the game. And then they're watching it on some stupid site. Or like, I don't know, they steal your grandma's pin or something. It's always your grandma. And it's not nice because she makes good cookies. I've met her. She's lovely. We played cribbage on the weekend. I didn't need to go there with this. Listen, just share the link, okay? So I don't have to make stupid comments. And you might not be in a joking mood right now if you cheer for the Edmonton Oilers. Again, I'm trying to be neutral here. I do not have a rooting interest. But I am not stupid. This game is streamed in Canada. There is one Canadian team in this game, and that is the Edmonton Oilers. And they're down 6-3 right now. You got two goalies in a real tough position, though. Koskinen, who he didn't allow the first 6, but it's going to be tough if you allow 7, 8, and 9, which has happened already in these playoffs. Or no, he allowed 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If I remember game 1 of the Battle of Alberta correctly. Pavel Francouz in the Avalanche net in place of Darcy Kemper. Not quite sure what happened there. He had a word with Jared Bednar at the break. Left the game. We'll just have to wait and see. Ozone draw for the Avs, but the Oilers, that's a good breakout. And again, the Avs just will not let them. Francouz leaves the net. This could be something for the Oilers. Cassian looking for it. He had a breakaway opportunity earlier in this game, couldn't finish. Was that the play? Oh, 2-on-1 for the Avalanche! And that's an easy goal. Wide open cage. And the Colorado Avalanche are an absolute wagon. Cogliano puts the Avalanche up 7-3. He's vintage, but he's still got wheels, and oof. Koskinen not able to make the save, and he gets run over. O'Connor over to Cogliano, buries it. We've got 10 goals in Colorado. Cogliano, who Oilers fans will be very familiar with. Team who drafted him are in the way of his Stanley Cup dream. Kadri looking for a call, and he's going to get it. as the Oilers, yet to draw a power play, are about to go to the penalty kill again.
That'll be a storyline to be followed.
Well, isn't it? It's amazing the twists and
Or
turns
are
of
they?
playoff hockey, isn't it? You think you got your game.
Sorry,
dialed
again,
up
I
here
can't hear
and
the
whole
feed.
mind's
Okay, it
in
looks
game
like it's
one, and then
icing.
suddenly you're
My bad.
worried about
Kadri was looking for the call, and he's always so convincing. Francouz gobbles it up, and it'll be another ozone draw. Why? You know what was stupid of me? To think that anything was going to be called a penalty in this game. That was dumb. That was dumb.
Enough to keep him out for any extended period of time.
Now all eyes on this man, Pavel Francouz. Yeah, he's got a 4-goal lead, but you can't sit back all fat and happy.
3 on 20 for the Oilers. McDavid with a face-off win. Draisaitl played it in front. That goes off the ski to Makar. Has him on the lip. Kept in by Draisaitl.
Oh, you got a turnover here. Draisaitl, what a play! Holy! Ow! A 4-goal lead.
oh man, don't leave your couch.
4-goal deficit doesn't seem so insurmountable when you see goals like that. Leon Draisaitl virtually standing still. Look at this. Keep from the Oilers. Oh, the drag. And McDavid hasn't shot on nets more wide open than that in practice. He roofed it. For what? For what? Unnecessary. Cale Makar a little uncomfortable there. And the Edmonton Oilers are back within 3. Now, here's what's important about that. Producer Steph. Oh, boy. And it looks like we'll finally get an Edmonton power play as they try to crawl back into this game. Producer Steph getting into my ear just before that goal was scored. Kyle Bukauskas from Sportsnet reporting that Darcy Kemper is doubtful to return to this game. Pavel, you're on your own, buddy. Zach Hyman drawing it on Arturi Lehkonen. I almost called him Gabriel Landeskog. I don't know why. And the Edmonton Oilers, once down 4, now down 3. And right here, they'll look to make it 2. Scrambled draw. Helm forces it into the corner. Avs looking for the interference call. No, it's just going to be a face-off in the Avs zone. I thought that might have been a little interference on Helm there. Again, I don't know why I'm like, oh, that's a penalty. They're going to call it. No. Stop that. Draisaitl wins it. McDavid, Nuge, Barry. Back to Nuge. Back to Barry. Good movement. Hyman in front, not crashing the net yet, though. Oilers soft on the front of the net. This is interesting. Let's see what they go with. And Hyman makes his move. McDavid's got the puck. Oop. Bouncing puck there. Francouz bats it wide, but the Oilers maintain possession. Draisaitl makes a dash. Hyman! Oh, what a stop from Francouz! That was an excellent one-timer from Hyman, matched only by the toe save of Francouz. More like Pavel Francouz. And the Avs clear it as we get to the halfway mark of this Oilers power play. This is an enormous kill in this game. If the Oilers head to the third period with a 7-4 lead, or the Avalanche head to the intermission with a 7-4 lead, they're looking good. Oilers start coming back even more. That doubt starts creeping in. McDavid with the puck. That's bad news if you're the Avs. Holy cow, he's fast and he sets up Nuge. I think it was blocked in front, but McDavid, fastest man alive. Oh, he's picked off. Avs clear the zone. Comfer looking for a penalty. He's not going to get it. Nuge. Malamo from Bouchard.
Dozen seconds remaining in the power play.
Nothing doing.
Oilers have come close. Nugent Hopkins again. Throws it across.
Huge again. That's a great pass to Draisaitl. Bouchard loves using that shot. Oh, painful from O'Connor. Francouz gobbles it up, and 3 seconds to go here in this Oilers power play.
Crowd reacting to the moments. The old
And
goaltender up there, and Kenny Holland knowing his team.
did anyone else see the Bruins jersey?
The best chance, and right off the glove of Francouz. That's a
It had a C. If it's Ray Bourque, I think it makes some sense. But if it's like Bergeron, sir, Pavel Francouz has been tested a bunch of times. Lehkonen wants out. And why not? And he does get out. But we got a bobbled puck here. Yamamoto gets his stick lifted right out of his hands. Oilers put it on. Rebound! Oh, what a stop from Francouz. Where is it? Oh, they blow the whistle. That was an incredible save. Oh, I hope we get another angle of that. Oh, my goodness. What a glorious opportunity for the Oilers to make it 7-5. And Francouz has had to make some dandies so far. Look at him. Whoa! He goes the wrong way and robs McLeod, though, on the recovery. McLeod had a tap in earlier in Francouz's. It's not going to go down like that this time. 42.2 seconds to go in the second. Clean face-off win for the Avalanche. Taves gets it out and gets it deep. Ice? No ice. Keith with it. Avs have done such a good job along the boards when the Oilers try to clear it. They don't hold the zone there, but they do get the puck. And they'll get one last rush. Or maybe the Oilers will. This game's ridiculous. We got 11 goals. Still a period to play. Maybe more. Well, the Oilers are definitely offside, but do you know what offside is? I'm not so sure I do anymore. McKinnon! One last opportunity, less than 5 seconds to go! Stopped by Koskinen. That was a dangerous opportunity in a dangerous period. 7-4 is the score in favor of the Colorado Avalanche. Edmonton Oilers down 3 heading into the third. They've been in this position before. Can they get some comeback heroics again? Pavel Francouz coming in relief of Darcy Kemper. Is quite the tall task ahead of him because the Edmonton Oilers are not known for going out quietly in these playoffs. Watch Stanley Cup playoffs, by the way, with Steve Dangle. I'm Steve Dangle. Click like, click subscribe, tell all your friends. How can the Edmonton Oilers get back into this game? Well, for our intermission entertainment, you'll see how. All 29 points from McDavid and Draisaitl from the Battle of Alberta. We're going to show that to you next. And then after that, we're going to have another piece about McDavid and Draisaitl because why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't we? They're ridiculous. Shouldn't you want to watch the best duo in the world? You probably should because I think they might be a factor in the third period. So enough from me. Take it away. McDavid and Draisaitl.
Wide on Zadorov and a shot right on and a rebound. And a big hit there along the boards in front. Connor David scores! And Edmonton gets one back. Off McDavid to Draisaitl. Looking to get it back to McDavid. He swivels away from Dubé in front. Scores! What a beauty! McDavid sets up Evan Bouchard. And here's McDavid. Maybe a chip right here. Draisaitl scores! It's a one-goal game here in the final minute of the second period.
All eyes on Draisaitl. Look at how deep he is here. Okay, does he have a bad leg?
And McDavid with the most ice time, 16-10 to the net, and a mixed up rebound, scores! Kyler Yamamoto, and the game is tied.
You've seen a lot of twists and turns. Here's just around a little pick by the linesman. What a save there with the toe mark.
Here's Leon Draisaitl cycling it back towards McDavid. Keane running some interference, a pass for Keane, scores! Duncan Keane, and the Oilers are on the board.
Possibly how difficult it's to defend against. Here's the pass back. Now he.
And now Draisaitl unable to turnstile pass to Branson. Has it again on this left side. Rink wide, looking for McDavid. Bounced off the Zadorov contact in front. Connor McDavid, another beauty. And this one will count.
A little time. Draisaitl throws it to an area.
And it gets past Zadorov, and it's a break for Draisaitl. Leon Draisaitl scores. It's a 2-goal Oiler lead. Scooped down by Smith, and away goes Draisaitl and McDavid. Back in. Draisaitl across. Scores! Zach Hyman with the icebreaker. And a pass back. Lewis was heading off, and Evander Kane picked it off. Here's Draisaitl looking in. In front, Kane scores! Draisaitl's going to put it to fire and work it to center. Here's McDavid turning away from Hanifin to the net. In the slot, and away goes McDavid. And Kentry got this Kane again. Evander Kane scores! Hat-trick goal, his second hat-trick in Game 3. Rink wide, double clutched, and now it's McDavid. Shoots, rebound, scores! Zach Hyman! Everybody in the rink reacts except the officials, and now it's Evander Kane. Up Lydia, played in front, bouncing puck back to Hanifin, shooting, and it goes wide. McDavid on it, will play it ahead and center, and Evander Kane, empty net, puts it away. Last time they were out with Zach Hyman, they looked dangerous, and it's played back to Durham, scores, and Edmonton is on the board. Will be recovered by McDavid, got it to Draisaitl, Nugent Hopkins, hit by Hyman, scores, stops it home, it's a 3-point night for Hyman. Draisaitl swings wide, kicks it back to Duncan Keane, back to Draisaitl, calling for it, Bouchard, scores! Are you watching this? And flips it back into the Flame zone. 5 minutes into overtime in Game 5, and McDavid scores! Game winner! Series winner for Connor McDavid!
Here's the turnover. McDavid off Hanifin. Then Draisaitl just spots McDavid. Goes right into the slot, his favorite area. That quick wrister. And the Oilers are moving on. What a beautiful play by McDavid to get open.
Wayne Gretzky, Mario Lemieux, Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl. No one has averaged more points per game in a single postseason than them.
Draisaitl to McDavid. McDavid shoots. Score!
Game winner! Series winner for Connor McDavid!
McDavid and Draisaitl are each averaging 2.17 points per game this postseason. Super Mario was the last player to average more than 2 points a game while playing 10 or more games in the playoffs when he did so back in 1992.
Look out! Scores! Have you ever seen such finesse? This This is absolutely incredible.
Only Gretzky had a higher average, the great one doing it twice in the 80s. As impressive as those numbers are, they fail to tell the full story of what McDavid and Draisaitl are doing this postseason. While Draisaitl is producing at an historic pace while clearly playing through an ankle injury, McDavid, already considered the best player in the world, has somehow found a way to take his game to a whole new level.
Another beauty. You can't stop him.
I can't believe what we're watching from 97.
According to the game score value added model created by Dom Lecision at The Athletic, McDavid was a 6-win player in the regular season. In these playoffs, he's projecting to be an 11-win player over 82 games, nearly doubling his total win value from the regular season to the playoffs.
McDavid is on another planet right now in these playoffs.
And yet, McDavid isn't the current betting favorite to win the Conn Smythe. That distinction belongs to Nathan MacKinnon at plus 350.
Two fastest guys in the National Hockey League. Always exciting when McKinnon goes up against McDavid.
With 13 points in 10 games, McKinnon isn't quite matching McDavid's level of production, but he's shown he can put the Avs on his back these playoffs.
Powering through the speed burst. One stick handling. My goodness, what a goal from Nathan MacKinnon! Hat trick, baby!
Despite a second-round exit last postseason, McKinnon was on a projected 9-win pace. He's tied for the 4th fastest to 80 points in playoff history and one of the few players in the world who can elevate his game the way McDavid has right now, setting up a head-to-head matchup rarely seen in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
What a matchup. It's hard not to be fired up when you've got McDavid and McKinnon head-to-head.
Well, go on. Oh, maybe I should ask the question first. What do you plan on doing in overtime? What? Oh, you didn't think this game was going to end, did you? Watch Stanley Cup playoffs and all of its quintuple overtime games, which is going to happen tonight, with Steve Dangle. I'm Steve Dangle. Click like, click subscribe, tell all your friends. I can hear. You haven't even said anything yet, producer Steph, but you're mad at me. Quintuple overtime. It's happening. I didn't say who was going to win. Happening. Listen, this game's ridiculous. And if you think it's over, well, welcome to the game. Guess you haven't been watching. There's been 11 goals in this one. The Avalanche have 7. That's a lot. The Oilers have 4. That's a lot, too. Kemper allowed a few. He left. Then Francouz allowed one. Smith allowed a bunch. And Koskinen showed up. He allowed one. Both goals that the goalies in relief have allowed were into yawning cages. on odd man rushes. Well, no. That's a lie. The Avs one on Koskinen was an odd man rush. The Oilers one on Francouz was just Draisaitl and McDavid being ridiculous human beings. By the way, how good was that? How good were those compilations there during second intermission? This game ain't over. Now listen, it's a 3-goal deficit that the Oilers have to erase in the third period of a playoff game. Unfortunately, the Colorado Avalanche don't really look much like the 2013 Maple Leafs. But it's been a pretty ridiculous season, man. Save percentage is down basically everywhere. Basically. 3-goal leads are what tie games used to be, basically, in the 90s. 1999, man, the heart of the dead puck era. Not all of you are going to remember that because it's 2022, and here I am just being an old man yelling at the cloud. But if there was an 11-goal game after 40 minutes in 1999, every single player, especially the goalies, would be placed under arrest at the end of the game. They would stop the game in the middle of it. Both teams would be forced to forfeit. Gary Bettman would come onto the ice with a microphone and be like, folks, I'm so sorry you had to see all that. Go home. Go home. This is far too much goal scoring. Go home. And it wasn't for several years when an intern spoke up and they said, Gary, they're quite fond of goals. And he went, oh! Well, in that case, we're going to change the rules forever. And then the NHL said, forever? And he said, all right, just the 05-06 season, but just all right. But this is ridiculous. I don't know what that tangent was. Leave a comment in the chat. We can get to your questions. And listen, all I'm doing is what you're doing. I'm just, when you're stressed, this is verbal nonsense. And I'm stressed, man. I'm stressed. Synergy. Do you think Markstrom was injured? That's an interesting question. I don't want to speculate, but I will say this. Basically, every NHL player, especially the ones who make it to the Final Four and then the Stanley Cup Final, they're battling something heinous. Every player who has a decent amount of miles under their belt, like these guys, they're playing game number what? 100? Or they're closing in on 100 on the season? Maybe more? How many times do these guys hit an ice surface? Hit an NHL ice surface between morning skates, practice, preseason games, 82 regular season games, and the Stanley Cup playoffs? These guys are all fighting something. You got a sore leg, you got a sore ankle, you got a sore hip, you got a sore back, your shoulder's messed up, you got a kink in your neck, you got something going on. So was Markstrom injured? It's possible. It's possible. But was he so injured that the Flames wouldn't even consider going to Vladar? You know what I mean? I think that's a bit unfair. Producer Drew, I can't tell if he's texting me as a stressed out buddy or as like my coworker when he sends me these things. This is ridiculous, though. From Sportsnet stats, most multi-point games within 13 postseason contests. Tied for second place, Wayne Gretzky, 1985, with 10. He's tied with Wayne Gretzky, 1983, with 10. But in first place, Connor McDavid, 11 multi-point games within 13 postseason contests, 2022. The Oilers are genuinely getting one of the greatest offensive performances we have ever seen in the Stanley Cup playoffs from Connor McDavid. And we're going to have to see that continue if they have any prayer of getting back into this game. Warrior, which Pokemon are McDavid and McKinnon? Ooh. The fast ones, man. It's been a long time. I mean, they're both kind of Charizard. I'll say McDavid is Mewtwo. Yeah, that makes sense. Because it feels at times when I'm watching him like he was made in a lab. Like by doctors, like, let's just make the best one. And then they did. And then he escaped and got drafted first overall by the Oilers. Oshawa Generals did beat the Erie Otters, though, that year. And I was at that game. It was awesome. Nathan McKinnon, on the other hand. I'm so out of practice with Pokemon, man. I'm going to say Charizard.
This is a different opponent.
Because he's lethal, but he's got an attitude as well. Third period underway. Avs trying to defend a 7-4 lead. Sounds easy. I guarantee you it is not. It starts with 1. The Oilers look to make it 7-5. If they can do that, they'll try to make it 7-6, and so on. Draisaitl drives the net. Francouz makes that key first stop for the Avalanche. Kemper has not returned to this game for the Avs. Kadri can't hold Draisaitl at the line. Man, you wouldn't know this guy's battling what I can only assume is a nasty ankle injury. You'd never know. Who knows? Maybe those days off between series, he healed up a little bit. Draisaitl could get better as these playoffs go. It's ridiculous. Face off in the Avs zone. Avs win it clean. Johnson flying around. Gets it to Comfer, who gets it deep. Whoa! Bounce off the blocker of Koskinen. Bodies flying all over the place. Oilers break it out. It can't just be McDavid and Draisaitl. Who's it going to be? As the Oilers get a nice icing call here. It'll go back down into the Avs zone. Byram strapping that helmet on tight as the Avs try to weather this storm.
Think of this back end with the mobility of Byram and him being healthy. Makar at an elite level this year, and that's why the injury to Samuel Girard was such a big loss as well.
Big line out there for Edmonton in the O-zone.
Create offense, make that good outlet pass, and fans wishing him well as he seemingly has done for the playoffs.
Sam Girard sorely missed by the Avs, as that guy's very tiny sign indicates. Whatever happened to using an entire Bristol board? Whoa, McDavid with the big hit. Byram gets it out, and that'll have to be enough for the Avs to at least get some new personnel over the boards. And they do. McKinnon. Oh my gosh, what a pass to Nichushkin. Coming in on Barry. Shoots. Koskinen. The rebound. And the Oilers, once again, they dump it. And Colorado has it again. I don't know if the Oilers are going to be able to counter a 3-goal deficit away. They're going to have to carry it a little bit. McKinnon with a great chance there. Oh, Hyman. That's a good rush. But he's forced behind the net. And again, this guy's not afraid to go 1-on-3, 1-on-4, but he has no reinforcements. And the Avalanche have a breakaway. Mikko Rantanen shoots. Koskinen stops it. Ooh, scary moment there. And I'm going to pull out the broadcast favorite. Remember that save. I hope I pressed the cough button. I'm not sure. If I didn't, I'm sorry. Kadri comes out with it. All of a sudden, woo, that would have been quite the nifty goal. Burakovsky and Lehkonen playing with it. Bouchard, I thought he's had a pretty good game breaking it out. Shoots it. He's got to be among the Oilers' leaders in shot attempts tonight. Wham! Duncan Keith. An errant shot that actually, I think, was more dangerous. Francouz wasn't looking at the puck there for a second. This is a chaotic fourth-line shift for the Oilers, but it might result in a goal here. Bouchard gets it across. Keith, back to Bouchard. Bang! Oh, tough block for Burakovsky. He's still down. Rebound. He's still down. And the Oilers take advantage and score. Andre Burakovsky with the block down on the ice. And with the Avs a man down, Ryan brings the Oilers to within 2. A deflection, another deflection. And the Oilers will take it. Zach Kassian doing good work behind the net. Just like they drew it up, I'm sure he'll tell you. And that's a heartbreaker for Burakovsky. Oilers now within 2 as Burakovsky goes down the tunnel. Second career playoff goal for Ryan. Oilers fans, what did I tell you in the last round? If you click like, it means your team scores. How many times did you see that work? You know I'm telling the truth. Fogle tries to cut to the middle. He's cut off. Man, a tie game sure looks closer from 2 than it does from 3, doesn't it? Darren Helm. Avs hold it in. Connor gets it deep. Helm missing a glove there. He'll go off. Byram can't hold the zone. This is a little bit of chaos here. Whoa! Landeskog goes for a big hit.
Landeskog had him lined up. Well, we can assume there'll be more scoring, and now the next goal becomes even more important.
I don't know when my dog got here, but he's in the corner, sleeping. That's how captivated I've been by this game. Yamamoto over to Nurse. Nurse fires it on, and that'll go up and out of play. There's a lot of time to go in this game, buddy. 15 and a half minutes to go. Oh, gruesome. What was that? Right off the inside of the knee for Burakovsky. That lady was pissed. That's a tough one for Burakovsky. No idea if he's going to return to this game. And what was once an obscene advantage in the shot column for Colorado is quickly evaporating. It's now 36 Colorado, 30 for Edmonton. It's a high event game for both teams. McDavid with it. Now it's just a 2-goal deficit. He's seen these before. He's erased these before. And he'll try to do it again! Deflection in front. But the Avs break it out. McKinnon. On. Wide. Oh, flubbed at the blue line, but Makar puts it on. Avs with a near 3-minute advantage in offensive zone possession. Not dissimilar to the Edmonton-Calgary series, but Edmonton far more efficient with their chances. Cale Makar being hounded by Leon Draisaitl. Avs can't clear the zone. With the Oilers big line hungry, Avalanche will clear it. Won't be icing as Koskinen plays it and gives it to Keith.
Nugent Hopkins gives it back to him, and now Bouchard's got space at center.
I don't know if you can hear that. My dog's having puppy dreams. Dude, it's a 12-goal game. Are you serious? They have a 2-goal deficit. Do you care? He doesn't care. He's done. Oh, what's going on behind that Avalanche net? There were 2 guys tied up. No whistle. Here come the Avs. Ransonen with it. I assume we're going to get a replay of that. Avs try to get it deep, but it goes off an official's leg. And the Oilers get it down the ice. That is a ridiculous penalty for Eric Johnson to take. I assume it's a penalty. I didn't hear the whistle, but he mushes Zach Hyman. Just throws him right down. Surely that's a roughing call. Well, I guess we'll find out. Watch a Leafs game. I've been doing so well. Watch the Stanley Cup playoffs with Steve Dangle. I'm Steve Dangle and a failure, apparently. Click like, click subscribe, tell all your friends. We'll be right back as we take this commercial break for me to feel bad about myself. Watch the Stanley Cup playoffs with Steve Dangle. I'm Steve Dangle. Click like, click subscribe, tell all your friends. I don't think that's going to end up being a penalty. Let's see. Was it just offside? Oh, that's ridiculous. Johnson got his glove right into Hyman's face. Okay. Darren Helm, clean face-off win. Makes you wonder what's got to happen in this third period for a team to get a power play. Specifically the Oilers. They're the team trying to come back.
Up ahead it goes, and over the line, Kulak for
Puljujärvi gets it deep. Oop! Oilers flub it a little bit. Barry taking advantage on the pinch. Fogel can't get to it. And ooh, almost a breakaway. Whoa! Koskinen having a little trouble with that. O'Connor hounding him, but he gets it out. Puljujärvi waiting for reinforcements. They arrive and miss it. So the Avs will turn it back the other way. Rantanen with Newhook. Newhook putting pressure on Ceci. Turnover. Comfer puts it wide. Newhook behind the net. Rantanen gets it to the point, but he flubs the pass. Josh Manson will have to retreat. Under 13 minutes to go in this game.
92 points during the regular season.
Producer Drew texting me, if that's a penalty, I'm turning the game off. Yeah? How about that offside call there? Drew shot! That is an enormous save from Mikko Koskinen on Valerie. How do you pronounce it, Drew? Chushkin. Let's get another look at that. Darnell Nurse. Oh my goodness. I don't know about that decision. He just lets him get it. Landeskog over to Nichushkin, and oh, what a stop. That could have been the dagger right there.
That allows the Oilers to stay in.
I'm not a great lip reader, but I'm pretty sure Nichushkin said a swear word in Russian. Remember I told you I did KHL highlights? I don't speak Russian, but I do know the swears. Some of them anyway. And that was one of them. Bowen Byram looking to break out. Rantanen gets it deep for Kadri. I think Keith lost an edge there. Nice cross check in front. Man, they're not calling nothing they called in the first 2 rounds, huh? Both teams getting away with murder tonight. Heck, the Avs got away with an offside goal. And listen, I know it's not offside based on the rule. It's a stupid rule. Taves puts it on, gloved by Koskinen.
And there's Jared Bednar again as you had the
Yeah, I pressed the cough button this time.
line that went out against the Kadri line, and as soon as McDavid came back, stayed with that matchup. He's liked the fact
Animated conversation going on behind the net.
we saw that both
That
guys
man
have been able to
gesturing
score
about eating
this
something.
game.
The 2 people dressed up as what I think is the American flag.
The fourth line coming on.
Nervous.
His effective
Nervous.
line,
Nervous looks
upper line,
on their faces as the Avalanche try to defend
all about managing the clock and managing your matchups here.
this 2-goal lead here in the 3rd period. 11.5 minutes to go. Avs win the draw. Byram on through traffic. It goes wide, and the Avs hold on to it. Bang! And it goes wide again, and it goes out of play. And that dude caught it, and he's amped. Can we get a camera on that guy? That's all I want to see. I want to see him and the Nordiques guy behind the bench and the American flag. Oh, this is... How aren't we seeing that guy with the puck? Boo! I'm booing my own company. Andre Burakovsky is back in this game after blocking a shot that ended up leading to Edmonton getting their 5th goal. I can't believe it. Playoffs, baby. He went down in a heap. Nathan McKinnon on the draw. I don't think he really won it. Avs came up with it, and then they lost it. But Nichushkin chasing down Barry. Oilers not. Yep, they finally clear the zone. Fogle almost sprung loose there. Taves can't handle the bouncing puck, and he falls down. Oilers, oh man. Key play there in front by Makar. McKinnon, like, 1st and 2nd round, that's a cross-checking penalty. Every time. Yeah, they're not calling it. And there's Draisaitl there, too. The NHL. We tell you what the rules are until we decide we're bored. Both teams just getting away with murder. Hasn't really hurt the offense, has it? 12 goals, and what was it, one of them was on the power play. Sprung loose! Nazem Kadri on the backhand! Stopped by Koskinen. Oh, the Avs have had several opportunities to bury the Oilers. And Koskinen, in a game where the Oilers have allowed 7 goals, has been given the Oilers opportunities to stay in this thing. That's at least 2 huge saves over the last few minutes from Koskinen to keep this a 2-goal game. And with a little over 10 minutes to go, that's still lots of time for Edmonton. Flub face-off, we'll get another one.
Well, you've allowed your team to stay in it. I mean, right now, Colorado's thinking they should be up by 4 with the 2 good chances that they've had and the offense that they've created. Now, just 1 goal every 5 minutes is your mantra and your mindset. If you have to get it to overtime...
Man, that offside goal, if it wasn't offside, feels like an eternity ago. I tell you what, it was a lot of goals ago. Avs go to chase it in their own zone. Josh Manson with it. Being hounded. Maintains composure, gets it out off the boards. Avs will chase it down, and again, the Oilers giving up the back of their net a little too easily. Helm gets it. O'Connor will chase it down with Archibald. Can't find it. Oilers get it out. Whoa, good read from Archibald. Francouz scoops it up. And that's what your depth lines are supposed to do. Get it deep, get the whistle, get the ozone draw. And I'd be pretty surprised if we didn't see Mr. McDavid out there. Hyman on the bench. Evander Kane back with McDavid and Draisaitl. Interesting. He didn't start the game there.
Wouldn't this be a big play if you don't get your change because you didn't play the puck? You lose a draw.
A little over 9.5 minutes to go. Oilers need 2 to tie this thing. There's been a lot of chirping with foot placement off the faceoffs. And I mean, man, really passionate opinions about foot position on the faceoff. I'm sorry. Of all the, how are you still complaining about it? And it's all for naught as the Avs clear the zone. The Oilers have it. And as long as the Oilers have it, they have a chance. And they get it deep. Francouz not able to stop it. Draisaitl to the point. Ooh, risky pass, but Barry gets it to Kulak. Oh, Barry keeps it, but only temporarily. Here comes the choo-choo train. He puts it on. Stop. Rebound. Avs with a flurry now. Koskinen, again, doing his best to keep the Oilers in this game. McDavid trying to break in. Can't take on the world alone. Except there's lots of video evidence to suggest he can. Landeskog, is he going to get... Is that a penalty? Is that a penalty on McDavid? I feel like I've asked, is that a penalty, many times tonight, and the answer is almost exclusively no. That has to be a penalty. Captain on captain, but that has to be a penalty. Watch the Stanley Cup playoffs with Steve Dangle. I'm Steve Dangle. Click like, click subscribe, tell all your friends. Don't go anywhere. The Oilers are going to continue to try this comeback when we come back. I thought my throw to break was great. I rhymed comeback with comeback. I thought it was very good. And I know you did too. Because it was. It was terrible. It is a penalty on Landeskog. We got an Oilers power play. Huge moment in this game. Oh, Draisaitl whips it on and it goes wide. Oh, Barry, good keep at the line, but he turns it over. And it's up and out. Huge moment in this game. A little over 8 minutes to go in the third. Oilers down 2. But if they can score a power play goal here, massive. Absolutely massive. McDavid, terrifying human being, gets it to Nuge, to Draisaitl, to Barry. Hyman in front! Oh, gets to Draisaitl, he puts it wide. Barry to Draisaitl, I thought he had space there. Barry puts it on. Oh, where was it? Oh, what a stop! Hyman with an opportunity in front, and Franco stones him. Still 50 seconds to go here in this power play. Oh, we got a goal! Ryan Nugent Hopkins. 3 letters and a 1-goal deficit. 7:24 to go. McDavid in front. McDavid creating all sorts of opportunities for the Oilers. McDavid drawing the penalty. But it's another first overall pick who brings the Oilers within 1. They're never really out of it, are they? Ken Holland can't even believe it. You can't tell me he's not a little surprised. 7:24 to go, and that really does feel like an eternity if you're a Colorado Avalanche fan. Shots 42-33. Goals 7-6. The Oilers bringing the 80s back. It's only appropriate. And you gotta think the Avs clutching those sticks pretty tight right around now. Under 7 minutes to go. You're gonna get a lot of time updates from me. Darren Helm enters the zone. A lot of bounces there. We'll see if the Avs can hold on to it, and they do. Comfer with it behind the net. Oh, what a new hook with a couple opportunities there. It stays out. Johnson prevents the clear. This is a big shift here for the Avalanche. That's a key 30 seconds kill, but here comes Zach Kassian. In front! Oh, the Oilers come so close to tying it. Kassian in like a bull in a china shop. Oilers put it on. Wide. Puck bouncing. God, this game rules. Jack Johnson gets up. Hyman with it in the corner. Kassian's still out there. Barry. On. Stopped in front. Barry, the former Av, if he ties it. There's the story. Jack Johnson, clear the zone, bud. And he does. And oh, he gets the most fortunate bounce of the game. The puck, clearly going for icing, just dies with the bounce in the neutral zone. And what I can only assume is a tired group of Avalanche players gets a reprieve. And the Avs get their top line on the ice. McKinnon, Landeskog, Nichushkin. Oilers offside, so they'll retreat. Just over 5 minutes to go here. Cale Makar with the puck. Defense pair wearing 8 and 7. That might be the final score of this game. For whom is the question. McKinnon puts it on. Wide. Taves gets it at the blue line. Under 5 minutes to go now. Nichushkin works it to the point. Taves with it. Shoots. Stopped by Koskinen. He's been so key in this third period. Taves stops the clearing attempt. Wham! One-timer from McKinnon wide. Avs hold the zone. But, oh, we got a bit of a break here. Draisaitl, he's got help. And the help fires. Stopped. Bodies in front. McDavid. Nurse. Stop. Ceci can't get to it. The Avs Clear it. Oh my goodness, there's still over 4 minutes to go in this game. Are you joking? Oh. Both backup goalies are what's holding this game together right now, if you can believe it. Oilers get the puck in deep. They heave it over the glass. I think that guy was given the finger twice. I don't know if you saw him. Josh Archibald here. Let's see this replay. That was the tip on the pass from Cassian. So close. Draisaitl to Ceci. That hits a friendly leg in front. And folks, with just over 4 minutes to go here in the third period in a 1-goal game, we're in for a wild finish. Watch the Stanley Cup playoffs with Steve Dangle. I'm Steve Dangle. Click like, click subscribe. Tell all your friends. Oilers fans who are here in the stream, click like. It means goals for you. This isn't me just trying to get internet clicks and internet points. Okay, well, maybe a little. But we know it's based in truth. If you watch the Battle of Alberta with me, or even if you watch the first round with me, Leafs and Lightning, you'll know. Anytime I was like, listen, you have to click like. All of a sudden, leads evaporate when you click like. Goals happen a lot in bunches when you click like. The way I see it, Oilers fans, if the Oilers don't come back in this game, it's because you didn't click like. And that's on you. How dare you? That wasn't a rhetorical question. How dare you? What a ridiculous game. The shots are 1,000 to 1,001. Score is 7-6, which is ridiculous for a third round playoff game. There were times in NHL history and relatively recent NHL history where you would not see this sort of game in the first round, let alone in the third. Oilers lost game 1 of the Battle of Alberta 9-6. That could still happen tonight in the opening game of this series. Or we could see something special. That was terrifying. That was terrifying. Someone get that Mike Smith face printed and put it on a pillow for the most terrifying pillow in the world. That was terrifying. Face-off in the Avalanche zone. Coming out of a TV timeout. Rested Oilers on the ice. Zach Hyman with it in the corner. Battling with Bowen Byram. Under 4 minutes to go now. Kadri, watch the penalty there, bud. He gets it out. Lehkonen in a battle with Bouchard. Is that going to be a penalty? No, it's not. Yeah, something tells me we're not going to get a call for the rest of the game there, guys. Avs fans up in arms in the stands. Yeah, buddy, it's the playoffs. You're lucky you got any penalties tonight. You're not getting one now. Under 3.5 minutes to go. McLeod looking to break in. Got help. More help arrives. Oilers with it. Ooh, it goes wide. Francouz left a lot of net there. Oilers looking to confuse him behind the net. It's a strategy that's worked a couple times tonight. Hyman with it. He's working. That's his territory there. Loves it behind the net. Big play from the Avalanche to clear it. McKinnon. Looked like he was going to do it himself, but he waits for help. Landeskog puts it on. Nichushkin coughs it up, and here come the Oilers. Nichushkin's so fast, though, as he hunts down Draisaitl. McKinnon throwing a hit. Draisaitl with it. And again, Nichushkin gets it out, but he can't beat Nurse to the puck. Under 2.5 minutes to go here. When is Koskinen heading to that Oilers bench? 46 to 34 of the shots. That's stupid. What's that, 80 combined shots? Don't make me do math. And don't make me count that high. I don't know how to do either of those things. Darren Helm has to give up the chase, loses his stick. Draisaitl can't catch up to that puck. Devon Taves has it. Key seconds ticking off the clock right here. Oilers hold the zone, though, with under 2 minutes to go. Pass. No, it was a shot. High and wide. Avs clear it. Oh! It almost curled back toward the net. Oh, I want to see a replay of that. Puck clearly going wide, and it curled. Not enough, though. McDavid. Oh, my goodness, that went off the crossbar. You madman. You absolute madman. Here it is again. Here it is again. Look, look, look. Oh, and that misses by about a foot. I, for a sec, thought there were 28 seconds to go in the third. No, it was a timeout.
In a lot of people's minds goes back to late to the first period.
It was really such a shocker. 9 seconds after the game was tied up. This
Oh boy. Don't remind Oilers fans of the offside goal.
And here's the official ruling as the puck went off of
The goal where Kale McCarr learned if you pass it to yourself, it's totally cool to be offside. I still... apparently, they interpreted the rule correctly. You can usually count on the NHL to at least interpret the rule correctly, but it's a dumb rule.
Got a 3-point game, a goal and 2 assists.
A minute 49 to go in game one. That is so much time. Oilers, empty net. That's good. Oilers, ozone draw. That's good. Oilers, big boys on the ice. That's good. Can the Avalanche survive and take game one of the 2022 Western Conference Final? We already got one body on the ice. It's going to be mayhem for the rest of this thing. That can be guaranteed. Taves tries to use the air to get rid of it. It doesn't work. Evander Kane puts it on, but it's wide. Draisaitl trying to work it out of the corner. Has McDavid with him. That's a pretty good duo. Taves again with the backhand in the air. Gets it out perfectly. Not enough for icing. 80 seconds to go in this game. Nuge gets it over the line. Stopped by Francouz. Battle for the puck in the corner. Avs put it around. Avs get it out. Rolling puck towards the net. No, it rolls wide. And they call it ice. Ooh, that was a close one. That was a close one. 1 minute and 1 second to go in the third period of game one. Puck rolling. Landeskog thought he might have won that race. Not so much, friend. Can the Avalanche kill the next 61 seconds? Draisaitl out there. McDavid, Yamamoto. Oilers with the extra attacker and under a minute to work. Can they tie this game at 7? What a ridiculous sentence, but it could come true right here, right now. Oilers with a rebound. Francouz down. Oilers still with the puck. Barry with it. Puts it on. Avs try to clear. They can't. And they can. Gets over the blue line. 35 seconds to go. Oilers need to regain the zone. They do, but they give it right back. Can the Avs clear it? Yes, they do. 26 seconds to go. Oilers can't clear the zone. Landeskog buries it. And that ought to do it. 8-6. Colorado. What a ridiculous opening game of this Western Conference Final, and with 21.4 seconds to go, I don't know, Oilers still might tie it. Unbelievable flurry there. So many stops there from Francouz. He's been excellent in relief of Kemper. He's had to make some unbelievable saves under ridiculous circumstances, and the captain of the Avalanche says, Steve, you remember my number now. That's 1. 8-6. It's just a ridiculous visual. Shots 47 to 37. Landeskog seventh of the playoffs. The clock will wind down in this one. Oh my God, I thought the net was empty. I was like, are they going to lose 9-6 again? Nope. But they do lose 8-6. Edmonton drops game 1 to Colorado. The Avalanche win. The Edmonton Oilers, though, they've been in this position before. I said it earlier tonight, I'll say it again. They've been down big, and they've come back. They did a pretty good job of that tonight. Just weren't quite able to finish the job. Last round, Battle of Alberta. Big offensive loss in game 1. Oh, Calgary's going to run away with this thing. And the Oilers go 1, 2, 3, 4 in their next 4 games. That man heading down the tunnel, Pavel Francouz, will he start net for the Colorado Avalanche in game 2? Mike Smith, will he start for the Edmonton Oilers in game 2? Nothing seems guaranteed, doesn't? But what I can guarantee you right now is the Avalanche are leading this series 1-0. A few questions before we go. Justin asked a question that I just asked. Who starts game 2 for both teams? Oh man. I'm not totally convinced. Darcy Kemper. I don't know. He pulled himself out of the game. The body language with Jared Bednar during that little conversation that we saw, I'm just not convinced it's a huge problem, but you never know. Honestly, I think both teams should go with the goalies who ended this game. Mike Smith got lit up like a Christmas tree. And the Edmonton Oilers were giving up a lot of shots, a lot of chances, but you need a save. And Koskinen gave them some really key saves. At the end of the second, in the third period, he only allowed the 1 goal. And Francouz proved himself more than capable, holding the lead for the Colorado Avalanche, making some big saves himself. Honestly, I think it should be Francouz versus Koskinen in game 2. Mac. Oh, Nathan McKinnon into the chat. What do the Oilers have to do to get back? They did a really good job locking up Calgary the more that series went, or at very least minimizing Calgary's opportunities. They weren't quite able to do that to Colorado. It looked like they were having a good time to start the game, but they play with more speed than Calgary did. They play with more aggression than Calgary did. Goal scoring is not the problem, so I'm not even going to give feedback on that. They scored 6 times. They figured out how to solve Colorado, no problem. They got to figure out how to stop their attack. They got to do a better job breaking out of their zone. Colorado did a great job hemming the Oilers in, which Calgary was able to do. The difference is the Oilers were better at the Avalanche were better at turning it into offense. And they got to keep the Avs away from the front of the net. Oilers are a fast team. And they got a team who can match them. I don't think they did in the Battle of Alberta. They do now. So, 8-6, huh? We'll see if that keeps up. It just might. Might be reversed, though. You might hope it's reversed if you're an Oilers fan. For now, that is it for this stream for Game 1 of Watch the Stanley Cup Playoffs with Steve Dangle. Click like, click subscribe, tell all your friends. No, I screwed up my own outro, and I've done this before, so I'm going to start over. That is it for this one. Good start. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this stream. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends. Nailed it. Watch Game 2 right here. Sportsnet YouTube channel, Thursday.